98 Shell Series, a real nail-biter. A 10-round two-car street fight that went right down to the final round. Lowndes defeating Ingle to claim his second title in 2 attempts. Sweet victory to the General. The stunning new VT Commodore simply smoked the opposition. For their arch-rivals, a Sprint Series Henry would rather forget. But a popular Bathurst win to Brighton Richards evened up a lopsided scorecard. Yes, it was one hell of a season. Exciting new faces, overflowing grids, our first visit to Darwin's Hidden Valley, and an overdose of the roughest, toughest panel punching action ever seen. In '99, the Shell Championship Series expands into a season-long, 13-round survival test. No room for excuses. For the first time, every car is on the same tires. No room for Commodore complacency, with an all-new Falcon and the rebirth of an official Ford factory team. And a season to bid farewell to one of our greatest heroes, Dick Johnson. Holden's chap is hungry.
If Ford think the AUs are going to make them winners, they got another thing coming.
Ford is out for revenge.
You Holden VT drivers better look out because the Ford AU is coming to get you.
Sydney's Eastern Creek Raceway, just a short drive up the highway from the Olympic site at Homebush. The cars are back, the fans are back, and the action's going to be red hot. Let's have a look at the starting grid. Mark Scaife and Craig Lowndes, the 7th time in the championship they have dominated the front row. Glenn Seaton and Jason Bright, 2 new AU XR8 Fords on the 2nd row. Then it's dominated by Holdens the rest of the way through. Garth Tander, very impressive yesterday in qualifying, the young guy from Larry Perkins. Jason Barguana, the 2nd Valvoline Cummins car from 7, and Russell Ingle, the enforcer, will start from 8. We are set to go.
Well, a long time.
Away we go now, and look at on the inside.
Oh,
Scaife.
Jason
Jason Bright and Garth Tander. They come flying through into the first corner. It'll be Scaife, Bright, Tander. It looked like Larry Perkins, who got a good jump around. Come the 2 wins twins.
Well, I'll tell you what, if anyone thought Mark Scaife didn't know how to start these V8s out of horror here last year, but he's done some practice over the summer because he really tucked in there. The car launched like a missile, and Jason Bright too got a tremendous start from the 2nd row to hack onto the back of the HRT Commodore.
I cannot believe that everybody has got through turn 2. They've really learned a lesson from the last
Melbourne,
years.
yeah, and also the Melbourne support race. They come over the hill down in out of turn 4, around the back part of the circuit. Scaife has got the jump. Jason Bright, we were saying he was in a good position. He went well, and so too did young Garth Tander. He's up there ahead of Perkins. Lowndes has worked his way back up into 5th. Then Glenn Seaton is 6th. Tony Longhurst, then Jason Barguana. Russell Ingle, Stephen Ellery is well placed. Larkin, Bow, and it looked like Paul Radisich, the first of the Shell cars. Scaife is getting away, but equally as well is Bright. He's left Garth Tander behind, and Tander is under siege here. Perkins is all over the back.
Yeah, it was nice for Perkins. Made a big change to see Larry qualify so well. You know, when he was on the Dunlops, it was always a struggle city, wasn't it? But big change for Larry.
Well, that's the beauty of this year, isn't it, Baz? Finally, the excuses are out the window. We've been listening for years, teams complaining, oh, gee, if I had his tyres, I'd be 2 seconds a lap faster. Well, all the excuses are over now. It's time to knuckle down. Everyone's on a level playing field. And what we're seeing here is what a lot of people suspect, the technical superiority of the Mobile Holden racing team with everyone on the same tyres.
Have a look at this. Craig Lowndes on Larry Perkins. Lowndes trying to make up for a poor start. And we usually see he's the genius off the start, but he struggled today, and they're right up on Garth Tander. Tander can hold steady here. He's done well so far.
Lowndes really applies the thumb screws, 260k through turn 1. That's really great driving.
Yes, he's through.
That's a great drive by our reigning champ. You've got to admit, this guy can really cut and thrust it with the best of them, but he never puts a damage on the car. Tell you what, it's interesting watching the gaps too. Now all these cars are running a controlled tyre. It's virtually like 9/10 of a second back to Bright in 2nd. Then you've got Lowndes 2 seconds back, and then there's just these 1 second gaps all the way through the field. There's this high-speed train.
If you look at Scaife, Bright and Lowndes have lapping virtually identical.
Oh, is that Seaton? Could be great.
Yeah, he just got up the
Craig Perkins. Nice work.
Well, he was working on him pretty hard for a few laps there. Larry was holding him out. Seaton must have got through.
So here comes Craig Lowndes, who's starting to haul in Jason Bright. Garth Tander is trying to stay in touch. We've got a terrific battle behind those guys.
Seaton, Perkins, Longhurst, Bargwanna, Ingle, Ellery, and here comes in 11th position John Bowe in the new Caterpillar Falcon, getting a bit of heat from Stephen Richards in the Wins Commodore.
And that's a very good job by Stephen Richards, because that's a brand new car. The first time it hit the track was last Wednesday at Calder. So basically they've been on a big learning curve as of Friday, the first time the car hit the track here, or yesterday.
There he goes, down the inside. They're going to go side by side with John Bowe. And he's muscled his way through too. John Bowe was just saying before the race, they haven't been too happy with the suspension setup on the car. Last time around, Scaife did a 1:33.18 and Bright a 32.6,
Yeah.
so he found half a second there. That's made the difference. He's right behind the car. Whether he can hold on for the next couple of laps, we'll have to see.
Showed incredible maturity last year at the FAI 1000 Classic at Bathurst, Jason Bright, which saw him and teammate Stephen Richards take the race out. We see the minor 10 lap counter there, lap 12 of 13. Time is running out for Bright. The last time Mark Scaife won here at Eastern Creek was race 2 back in 1995. The wait is over. Onto the main straight. The checkered flag is waiting. The Mobil 1 HRT Commodore Mark Scaife from pole position to the checkered flag. Well done, Scaife. In for the win from Jason Bright. There's the onboard camera, and a sense of satisfaction for Mark Scaife. Not only did he get away to a blinding start, but a good run for the entire 13 laps. To hold off Jason Bright wasn't that hard until the end. Bright bridged the gap. A good run for Scaife and a great start for the season. As we get ready to look at race 2, the 40 cars winding their way around the Eastern Creek circuit. And of course, these are the results. These are the starting positions and the results of race 1, and the gaps on your right-hand side of the screen. Scaife and Bright will start from the first row. Lowndes and Tander, a very solid drive by young Garth. Seaton and Perkins from 3, and Longhurst Bargwanna is 4. Will Scaife get away to another blinder, or will it be the Pertec Ford of Jason Bright? Set to go now, green and away! A pretty even start. Scaife did get away to a good one. Bright is out very wide. Here comes Tander through the middle. Now he tucks back in. So it's the same order. Scaife, Bright, Lowndes. Someone was coming through on the inside of Tander.
Well, it was even. There was nothing in that start. Everybody got away perfectly.
Absolutely fantastic. Look at them ducking and weaving as they head down toward this very tight turn 2. There's plenty of life left in this, and one's gone around.
Ellery.
Stephen Ellery in the Chalgrave Falcon. He's been turned around to the middle of the pack. We go on board with John Bowe in the brand new Cat Racing Falcon as he tries to find a way around Russell Ingle in this very packed lineup.
Ingle down into turn 4 off the hill. He's tucked in behind Jason Bargwanna. That looks like Radicic or Dick Johnson. I think Dick Johnson it is who's caught up there, because Radicic was at the back of the pack. We'll see if we can see a number. Yes, it is
DJ.
Dick. So not a good start to the 99 season for him. We go back up front. Have a look at Garth Tander up into second spot. This is an amazing drive by the 1997 Australian Formula Ford champ. His first season in V8s last year. This is his first full season, and this is the way to start it, that's for sure.
Well, there's never been any doubt about the youngster's speed.
Bright's got problems big time because he drifted wide. Lowndes is through now. Perkins is all over the back of him as well. Look at this, drafting big time down the main straight.
I think Bright was okay. He just cocked it up coming out of that corner, cost him a bit of speed.
Look at Larry
took
round
advantage, yeah, side by side. 260 kilometres an hour as they swing through turn 1.
Oh,
down
Larry up
turn 2.
inside. Yes.
Squeezes him out. Bargwanna's going to go through as well.
Plenty of knuckle action there between the Ford and the Commodore. Jason Bright's going to get hung out to dry. But
Yes.
he should be on the inside line as they come toward turn
dear.
3. Dear, oh dear, Rod Nash in the Budweiser Auto Pro Commodore. He's met the concrete pretty hard.
Well, this is going great for Mark Scaife and Garth Tander, because while these guys fight it out, they're scooting away. It's Scaife, Tander, Crompton. This is a disastrous day for Neil Crompton in the Ford Tickford Racing EL. He's stuck there, didn't finish the first race, and won't finish this one by the looks of things. Now Lowndes is starting to catch Garth Tander. Perkins is clear of Bright. So is Bargwanna. Look at Seaton and Tony Longhurst weaving all over the track. Longhurst
damn
Seaton
me.
Bay.
The old officials are not going to like that too much.
Might be a couple of Fords, but no favours there.
6 of 13. Word through that Mark Larkham is suffering from flat tyres. So interesting day in that department. Harry Perkins is fighting hard, charging hard in 4th, trying to get 3rd away from Tander.
I tell you, that thing of Tander's is not slow. you know, because Larry's making absolutely nothing down the straight.
Well, it's exactly the same car. Seaton makes a move on Russell Ingall. Tries to go up the inside, can't do it though. Russell Ingall in the SLX. Castrol Commodore holds on to that spot. We're talking about 7th. It's the battle there now. Glenn comes on the inside. Seaton pushing, trying to get past Russell Ingall, who has been struggling today.
If you look at Ingall's car, it doesn't look stable, Ingall's car. It seems to be really, you know, wobbling around. If you look at it, yeah, he's got it now.
Inside move, nicely done, Glenn Seaton. In the AU XR8, the Ford Tickford Racing, the Ford factory car for the first time in 26 years that the Ford factory has had an official team. 2 laps left to run in the second of 3 races, the opening round, the 1999 Shell Championship Series. Not only has Dougal McDougall done well, John Faulkner has done very well also to get up into 13th position, and Thomas Mazira in the Densatron Commodore is up there as well. So too Terry Finnegan. Have a look at how much ground Glenn Seaton has caught up on Bright. You heard Barry Sheen allude to it earlier. Well, he is right there now. And ahead of Bright is Bargwanna. Ahead of Bargwanna is Tander.
It's a shame he doesn't have another couple of laps to run, because all these bunch in front are so close that he had every chance of, you know, with his lap time and the progress he's made in sort of the last 2 laps, he had every chance of getting past him.
Well, we'll see how we go, Barry, because this is it, the run home. This is it. Now, of course, Larry Perkins has got through on Garth Tander. He's sitting on that podium spot at the moment. Tander now has got his teammate Jason Bargwanna in the new VT Commodore right behind him. Tander will get his VT later in the year. Have a look at the battle between the 2 Fords.
Major charge. You see how much Seaton made on Bright on the brakes there. Up over here. Gets out of this good, but Jason's going to keep the inside line well covered here.
It's going to be hard.
It is, but this is about the only chance, really.
Down into turn 9, as predicted, Bright in the Pertec Ford goes for the inside run. There's about a quarter of a lap left to run around the Eastern Creek circuit. This is for the minor placings. That's the battle for 6th and 7th between Bright and Seaton.
If he gets a good job out of this last left-hander, he might get a run down, but I don't think he's got enough speed.
Nobody's going to get this guy, because it's Mark Scaife to make it 2 starts, 2 wins. The Mobil 1 HRT pilot gets there again. Well done, Mark Scaife. His teammate Craig Lowndes, the defending champ, will come in for second. It's tight for the minor placings. Perkins from Tander. Here is the starting grid for the 3rd race. And of course, the result of race 2. Scaife and Lowndes from the 1st row. Perkins and Tander from 2. 3 is Bargwanna and Bright, the old sparring partners. And 4 is Seaton and Ingall. Ready to go. Can Scaife make it 3 from 3 and take out the round? Can Perkins come back? Can Lowndes come back? Or will the young Tander be up there? Away we go. The 2 Mobil 1 HRT cars, more of an even start, but Scaife's got the inside run into turn 1. Lowndes is there, Tander's pulled in behind nicely. Here comes Bargwanna on the inside of Bright.
Disastrous start for Perkins. I don't know what happened there, but he just went thoroughly backwards.
This is a huge day for Garth Tander, isn't it? Locked in.
Look at this!
They go side by side with Craig Lowndes through turn 2. Tangle back in the pack. Tony Longhurst caught up there. Looks like Jason. Tander's gone. That's Garth Tander caught in the middle of that. Let's hope they miss him. There is smoke everywhere. He has kept the foot into it. There's Longhurst. He's gone. Well, just when the day was looking fantastic for Tander, he got caught up. His teammate was alongside, and Jason Bright.
Oh, boy, no, stop it.
Well, just when we thought it was a calm day, that looks like it could be Dougal McDougall, is it? Yes, so hard to pick up. Yes, it is. Dougal McDougall in the yellow Quench car.
Race restart very soon, reduced to 9 laps. Original distance 13 down to 9 because of that terrible accident. Green flag is waving. We're ready for a restart of Heat 3.
Take 2, here we go. Who'll get the jump this time? Will it be the HRT twins? Get ready for it. Can Tander hang on? Will Larry get away to a better start? Let's wait. Here we go now. Now look like Lowndes bombed Lowndes. They've got away to a good one. Here comes Tander. No, he tucks it behind Lowndes. It's hard to see. It's Lowndes. It is Lowndes. It looked like from the front angle he bombed it down, but in fact there was a river. So the kid leads them into turn 2.
This isn't over yet,
sitting
though.
back into second spot. They come up. This is Crunch Corner. The 2 Valvoline cars there. Bargwanna's got the inside run. Tander the outside. Let's hope they get through cleanly. Crick's gone wide.
Oh boy, looks like they've threaded through okay. They've still got half the field to come out of that turn 2 into turn 3. Looks like a much tidier start for Heat 3, thank goodness.
Well, they work out of there over the hill and down into turn 4. It is Craig Lowndes. Well, he'd be enjoying this stint out in front. Look at that skirmish going on for 4th, 5th and 6th. It's tight. There's Paul Radicic. He's up into the action. An amazing run in the second race from 38th to 15th. Keep your eye on the Shell Helix Ford.
No one afraid to use the elbows there. Craig Lowndes getting the power now better than Mark Skate. Led him into turn 1. That's an important advantage when the two cars are so evenly matched. That's true. The first bloke you got to beat.
Oh, absolutely.
This is Mark Noske on the inside of Tony Longhurst. Great driving by the young Victorian.
That was a good hard move.
Yeah, very tidy, very well judged. Firing up the inside of the Castrol Falcon. Very cheeky move by Noske.
Oh, what have we got going? Oh, that's Romano, isn't it?
Paul Romano caught up in an incident. He's lost a lot of positions there too. This is pressure cooker time now for Mark Noske, the Holden Young Lions car. Primus Telecommunications sponsorship. He's got Longhurst right on him. This, of course, is an ex-Mobil 1 HRT car. In fact, it's Craig Lowndes' car from last year.
Look at this gaggle of cars. And look who's in behind Johnson. Rodney Forbes, the young Sydney privateer, having his Shell Series debut this year. Son of Bob Forbes, former touring car great at the 70s and 80s.
We get back to it. 1 lap to go. Race 3, Tony Longhurst chasing there hard. Mark Noske, that's been a terrific effort from young Mark in the Holden Young Lions car. Unfortunate and unlucky for his teammate Todd Kelly. Look at this! Oh, Larry's gone!
Whoa!
Baggins goes spinning off into the curl trap. Come to a stop, he won't go any further. Contact with Jason Bright in turn 1, and that is the fastest corner on the
and Jason as
Bright's
well.
Gone. How about that? The two came together. Bright and Larry hit at turn 1 and went sailing off at the fastest part of the circuit, the fastest track.
Look at the turn coming out.
Well, Bright was caught up with an incident, we believe, with Tandy, because that's what happened. Here's the replay.
Well, yeah, we didn't see the beginning of it, but it just basically they were both going for turn 1, and neither wanted to give way, and Larry's thing looks like it went round right. Okay, that's Bright coming in on Larry, really. And you'd have to say that really Jason did come in on Perkins there.
Very lucky that the sand trap is there, because they both had an enormous amount of speed on. They're doing about 260 kilometres per hour when they hit that corner. So, well, lucky for them that they're okay. And a fantastic result for Craig Lowndes, and more than that, the Mobil 1 HRT organisation. Lowndes swerves to get close to pit lane. Well done. The kid takes out race 3, and it is an HRT domination at Eastern Creek. Mark Skate will take the round. How about that? Garth Tander, congratulations. That is his first podium finish in the V8 Supercars. Just 6 points separating the Mobil 1 twins as we head into the second round of the 99 Championship. A big confidence boost for Garth Tander, sitting in 3rd, and Glenn Seaton, the first of the new Fords. A great effort also by Greg Murphy in the Wins Commodore, considering he started from 16th to finish the day overall in 8th position. So a great effort by the Murph there. Well, the first race here at Barbagallo as the cars head off on their warm-up lap, and it is the largest ever field that we have seen in WA since the inception of the V8 category. 31 cars in total. Craig Lowndes will start from pole, and we should say a new grid format. It is a staggered grid here at Barbagallo. Bright from 2, Skate from 3. Perkins did well in qualifying in the dying moments. Faulkner 5th, Crompton, Bow and Murphy. Craig Lowndes has never lost a race here in the V8 Supercars. Can he keep that perfect record intact? There you can see the staggered grid. Away we go. Bright got away to a nice start, but Lowndes has got the inside run. Now let's see them all skirmish into the first corner. Let's hope they get through okay.
Yeah, Scafie, nice move by Scafie there.
Good start too from Neil Crompton in the FTR Falcon, the older EL4, just in front of the boss. Squeezed up inside Larry Perkins. I think it was a nice clean start through turn 1. Global Holden Racing Team duo up front. That was slick. They've all got through there nicely. Look at the chain around there. It is a freight train, and they've all got through perfectly, all 31 of them. Already some early challenges going on. You can see the 2 Shell Helix cars there a little further back than where they'd like to be. That's Mark Noske in the Holden Young Lions car just ahead of them. But it's the Mobil 1 duo of Lowndes and Scape who lead them out of cold corner the first time.
It's deceivingly narrow here, so the idea is to stay out of trouble, because It's a lot narrower than it actually looks on the screen. It looks quite wide there, but for everybody to have got around and not to have got in any trouble there, it's not a bad effort.
Haven't these Mobile Commodores been fast in qualifying? Lowndes of 57.04. That's nearly a second under the existing lap record. It's only 12 months, less than 12 months since they were here last time. So, incredible level of development continuing in those mobile cars.
John Faulkner is very well placed in the better electrical Commodore. We stay on board with Scaife now. Hard at work. Through Nova's corner and onto the main straight.
Well, as a result of those problems some of these drivers suffered at Adelaide, they've really learned a lesson. They've gone through and really had a look at their driving environment, maybe moved their seating positions around or their steering wheel positions, because a number of drivers, including Mark Scaife, suffered pinched nerves and all sorts of muscular spasms and all sorts of things. So it's really had them re-examine the seating positions in the cars.
Next time round, well, from the get sideways. Faulkner's pressing for the inside line. Then we go back to Perkins. Then there's Murphy, John Bowe, Glenn Seaton.
Oh, this looks busy.
Oh, yeah, he's got his mirrors absolutely full here, Crompton. John Faulkner very fast in both unofficial sessions early on today, and he carried that form through in qualifying too in the better electrical car, and he's right in the thick of things here. Look at that Cat Falcon, the new XR8 of John Bowe. It's barely turned a wheel. Oh, gosh, Paul Radicic up the inside. Mark Noske. Oh, there must have been 3 or 4 little elbows there. He's a very forceful driver, the New Zealand international, and he's really on a charge.
Well, you can tell by the old body language, he'd made up his mind he was going through whatever happened.
Well, he had to come there. He qualified. They had problems in qualifying. He was 17th off the grid, Paul Radicic, and now he is moving his way up at a rapid rate of knots. Dick Johnson is on the other side of Mark Noske, lap 5 of 20, and he locks it up going down into cold corner. Radicic really on the charge and pushing the AU XR8 hard as they climb the hill.
But here's our leaders, Craig Lowndes. And normally we see Lowndes very quick on cold tyres. First time around opens a bit of a gap. Well, he didn't do it this time. Scaife's gone right with him, matching him lap for lap. 58.13 for Lowndes that time around, and 58.28 for Scaife. So he's really applying the pressure to his teammate Jason Bright now, 2.2 seconds behind the Mobile Commodores.
Let's have a look as the field runs over the hill, down in excess of 250 kilometres an hour, down into Nova's corner, and the run onto the main straight. There's Perkins with Murphy still intact, Seaton pressuring. This is nice and close. Tander's in there. Just behind him is Tony Longhurst. Then this gaggle here, the old Wayne Gardner car of Rodney Forbes, challenging Dick Johnson big time. Perkins gets a little out of shape going into the first turn.
Oh, Seaton working hard there.
Well, conditions have changed quite dramatically since qualifying earlier on the day. Track temperatures are up around 37, 38 degrees. They've dropped about 8 or 9 degrees, and that can have quite a critical effect on the performance of these tyres. All the cars look like they're slating around a little bit. Coming down toward Novus, it's the fastest part of the track.
You look at Lowndes' time now, he's just lapped a second quicker than Jason Bright, a whole second.
Scaife's going with him too. Scaife was quicker that time at 58.56 for Scaife. Lowndes at 58.68, so the Mobile boys really mixing it up amongst themselves. But the critical thing is they've opened the gap to Bright. 3.7 seconds back to the Pertec Falcon, and we're only 9 laps into this contest.
In excess of 250 kilometres an hour. For life at these guys at the moment is pretty cruisy.
Well, they're the only guys operating in the 58-second bracket at the moment.
John Bowe surges on, and Glenn Seaton has got in front of him, so Seaton's now up to 7th. Bowe 8th, the 2 Valvoline boys. Jason Bargwanna in the VT, and Garth Tander, the local driver in the older VS. Oh, look at Stephen Richards up the inside of Tony Longhurst. Great move.
Oh, that was a good move.
Yeah, it's a great overtaking spot. All the drivers say that because you're braking uphill.
Here we go with the 1997 champ as he's looking for an inside option on John Faulkner. Gee, Faulkner's been going well this week, and as he runs
a little
flying.
bit wide there. Oh yeah, get a better run out of this. You should get up the inside here.
Yeah, that's cost him dearly. Coming slow out of that corner, out of Nova's corner.
Yeah, he just got out on the sandy bit.
Yeah, but he was very impressive in early qualifying. But he's still battling on, trying to pick up as many points as he can.
Tough time at the moment too with the, you're seeing all of the cars move around on the circuit. This is a very abrasive circuit.
Oh, look, right. See how these right foot and left foot, I like that.
What do they say about these blokes? Give them an inch and they take a yard. Unbelievable.
Great.
The Mitre 10 racing boots. Oh,
Ron Nash.
Last lap. Starting the last lap for our race leader, Craig Lowndes. Lights on both the Mobile Commodores. Mark Scaife being able to close the gap to his teammate Lowndes at 59.59 last time around, so Time's falling off a bit from those hectic opening laps, but these two have just demolished the field. They've opened the gap even more on Bright. It's out to almost 11 seconds now.
Glenn Seaton has made the switch with his teammate. Seaton is now up into 4th. Crompton back to 5th. He's about to keep his perfect record intact as he comes over the hill on Simcoe Straight.
Oh,
to the
look at
final
this,
side.
Seaton.
Gee, Glenn has picked up in the
Look
last
at the
lap of
amount
the
of
race.
he's going to be up the inside of Jason here. Oh yeah, perfectly, because the other cars, yeah, he's through.
Great run by Glenn Seaton. That brings him up as top Ford guy as Lowndes takes out race 1. A great drive from pole to win. Scaife in for 2nd, and what a great drive by Glenn Seaton in the FTR AU XR8. He picks up 3rd, and he just blasted home. And today's race 2, Lowndes will start from pole alongside his teammate Mark Scaife. Seaton, who went from 9th to 3rd yesterday, was an outstanding effort from Bright. Crompton in the old EL. Faulkner is on the pace at the moment. He's doing well. This is race 2, round 3 of the 99 Championship. Away we go. Scaife and Lowndes, a fairly even start. Bowles trying to squeeze through the middle there. One of the Valvoline cars, it looks like Bargwanna, edging on the grass, but everything's okay there. For the meantime, Crompton squeezes through on the inside of Faulkner. Bowles got the outside run. The 2 Valvoline cars in tight together. Romano, Larkham, they're trying to push their way through. Has hit Bargwanna. Bargwanna rejoins safely, but whether any damage was sustained, we'll have to wait and see.
Tell you what, the smart move by Mark Scaife coming off the line too. He moved over to cover his territory. Glenn Seaton obviously got a good start. Bow. He must have been involved in that mix-up there. That's a great disappointment for the local team. There's his partner Debbie looking on.
Well, the right rear.
Oh, look at the damage.
That's the end of that.
He's copped a really big hit.
Well, in their debut round, in terms of the AU in front of their home crowd, that's what they didn't want to see or didn't want to happen. Seaton has hung on to his 3rd spot. For the meantime, Jason Wright in the Pertec Ford is challenging, and Bow is out of this one.
Look at the damage. Yeah. But meanwhile, there's a hungry pack of Fords trying to track down these Mobil 1 Commodores.
Lowndes and Scaife looking comfortable.
It's going to be interesting to watch tyre wear in this second race. Keep in mind the first heat was held yesterday afternoon to try and fit in with East Coast television schedules. So the track has had a big downpour of rain overnight. Now there's a real battle going on here between Faulkner, Garth Tander coming up too. They're rounding up Larry Perkins. Meanwhile, back at the front, Mark Scaife.
Well, Larry Perkins drifted well wide. Now we've got word through that Mark Scaife has been given a black flag.
I wonder what that's for, because he didn't. Well, the news is he jumped the start, but I have to say, I wasn't looking at the box. I was looking out the window, and he didn't, to me, look as if he jumps. Oh, boy, we've got some.
Oh, yeah, we've got Garth Tander. We just saw a real battle.
And Larry.
We saw a battle developing between
And
Perkins
Forbes.
and Tander. Bob Forbes.
Now that's in a very precarious position on the outside of the left-hander. Now we've just got news through too that Bargwanna's in the pits. Here comes Scaife for his stop-go. Now there was a word yesterday at the drivers' briefing that the officials will be very strict in terms of making and ensuring the drivers do come to a dead stop.
They really cracked down on drivers at the Adelaide 500.
Who just come in and slow down.
Yeah.
Scaife performs it correctly, and back out he comes. He's lost a lot of positions though. He will rejoin. Now there's Bargwanna there, so Bargwanna must have come in and then come back out. Longhurst back behind him. He's well placed. Radicic, who's put in a brilliant drive this weekend. Cameron McLean, it looked like, was squeezing up the inside there, and Dick Johnson's not too far back either.
Tony Longhurst, a good strong performance in car 25. He's in 5th position. Paul Radicic in the ever-improving Shell Ford. They had a real struggle yesterday with chassis setup. They made an overnight change, quite dramatic change to the setup. They found the car much faster in the warm-up this morning.
Here's the big mover in the pack. Russell Ingall is just on fire at the moment. He is up into 12th position as they flash across the line, make that 11th now after he overtakes the better electrical Commodore of John Faulkner. So he has gone from 30th position on the grid up into 11th. That's a massive move.
And he's on his 3rd engine. If he blows another, he's going to have to drag the engine out of the truck.
Series leader, but your race leader, and has never lost a race on this circuit in his V8 Supercar career. At the moment, he certainly isn't under threat. There's Glenn Seaton, the closest challenger. Jason Bright in the Pertec Ford, the Gold Coast-based team, doing well. Then Crompton. This has been his most consistent run. Radicic is the big mover from Longhurst. Here comes Stephen Richards. That's a good drive for the wins Commodore. Dick Johnson, Cameron McLean, obviously top privateer, sitting in 9th at the moment. Behind him, Russell Ingall, who has come from 30th to 10th. Now John Faulkner there in front in the better electrical car.
Oh, hang on.
What's he got on there?
I don't believe it!
inside option on Cameron McLean. Newcomer to the V8 ranks, and he should get this. Nicely done. Here comes Scape as well, trying to go through with Russell, and he will do that. Cameron will give him racing room. Nice move there. So it's Scape and Ingle barging their way through the field. We ride with Mark Scape right now.
That's a classic move, isn't it? When you see a gap, follow the other car through, leaves the other one high and wide. So McLean goes out, Ingle now up into the top 10. Scape continuing his relentless surge through the pack. He's got the enforcer right in front of him. And this man, if he's got enough power and grip, he's going to fight. Oh, cruncher! Run down the inside by Radicic.
Whoa, yes.
Now, he did say this morning that he's much happier with the setup on this car, and he's proving it on the track. He now moves up to 4th position in front of the second of the factory Fords driven by Neil Crompton. So Radicic, the Kiwi, on a real charge. Well, 59.41. It's pretty much close to the fastest lap that time around. I'll tell you what, though, that Stone Brothers Ford, that car's not far away. I mean, when you look at the race performance of the car over 20 laps, it's roughly about 3 or 4 tenths of a second away from the Mobile Commodore, so they're not that far behind. If they go away and test, they really haven't had a chance to do a lot of testing in these new Fords, so they get away and get some miles up and try a few things. I think slowly, by the time we get toward the end of the year, these cars will be much closer to the pace of the Mobile car.
Craig Lowndes, he's on the way home. 3 races in 1996, 3 races in 1988, and he has got 2 in 1999. Craig Lowndes comes to the finish and wins the second of 3 for today. A good second and third and fourth and fifth for the Fords. Let's have a look at the grid for race 3, the third and final, which is, of course, their finishing order. Lowndes and Seaton off the front row. Bright and Radicic. That was a terrific drive from 13th to 4th. Some hard going with some fast competitors inside that top 10. Crompton, Longhurst, Richards and Scape. Here we go. Last race of the day. Last race for round 3. Lowndes will need to get away to a good one here. Seaton will be hungry for a win. In WA, away we go. Seaton gets a little crossed up off the line. Looks like a fairly even run. He's got him. Great start. Glenn Seaton will lead him into the first turn. Then Lowndes contact.
Look, Dick Johnson.
He's turned sideways.
Oh, no.
No idea who hit him. They all try and dodge him the best they can.
Oh, they did too. Talk about threading the needle. Boy, oh boy, Dick Johnson's last appearance in WA, and that's not the way he wanted to get off. Darcy Russell in trouble there too, but Dick was very, very lucky not to get hit. But look at that start by Glenn Seaton. You can see how well the car launched off the line. I was very surprised he had managed to get in front of Lowndes.
Well, do you know, he and Neil Crompton spent a full day at Calder Park recently practicing their starts. It has obviously paid off.
Oh, Dick Johnson in all sorts of trouble. He's going to put that one away for the day, I'd say. That's a real shame. It's a bad way to tail out his career, but Glenn Seaton now feeling the heat from Craig Lowndes. The dominant force at Barbagallo Raceway this weekend, but Seaton's done it. The Ford fans are cheering on pit straight as he's got Craig Lowndes right up behind him. Great start in the FTR XRA.
I think if Seaton can hold off Lowndes, it's getting close. If he can hold him off for a couple of laps, because then Seaton's thing really seems...
Oh, look at that up the inside.
Oh, boy, there was a lot of room there. That was a good move on Lowndes' behalf, especially when you think there was all grass and mud across the inside of the circuit.
Tony Longhurst went in for a wheel change apparently from that
Radicic,
impact.
look at this, right behind Brighty.
And Crompton was in front of Paul Radicic. Escape!
That's, I'd be interested to see if Russell gave him a bit of liberality there.
Dear oh dear. Boys are starting to throw the elbows out in heat 3.
Mark Scape is left sitting on the inside, and whether he can get out of there is the question. Let's hope he can. Russell Ingle and Mark Scape is back out and at him. He had to do it tough in race 2. Race 3 is the same.
Just tell you what, don't let this bloke get in front. Well, 2.4 seconds he's opened up after 3 laps. Phenomenal speed from Seaton in that opening tour, but once he got past, look at how he's gapped the field.
Look at the 3 Fords behind it going.
It's a good showing by Ford. Radicic has got the inside on Bright. This is a good move. The 18 Shell Helix Ford, he's there. It's tight through turn 1. Radicic won't give in, and he's got the more preferred line. Bright drifts wide. So Radicic is now up into the top 3. It is Lowndes, Seaton, Radicic. Bright back to 4th, and Russell Ingle is up into 5th position. Now Neil Crompton seems to have dropped back to 8th. He was up in the top 5. An interesting combination just outside of the top 10. Garth Tander and Larry Perkins are 11 and 12 after their couple coming together in race 2. Larry wasn't very happy. Here is the order as Lowndes flashes through. Tony Longhurst is, of course, a lap down. Seaton is second as Radicic tries to force his way through on the inside, but Seaton wasn't about to let him through. Ingle, Bright, Richards and John Faulkner in the better electrical car doing a great job. Here's a challenge on the inside and Faulkner's got Bright, so he's having some problems. As we have a look back, there's McLean. Garth Tander has worked his way through on Romano. Mark Noske, Larry Perkins, Mark Larkham and Greg Murphy and John Bow. Those two guys there have done a tremendous job from the rear of grid to work their way forward into 14th and 15th position at the moment. That's a great effort.
Battle for 15th position. And the Cat Falcon looking strong under brakes. Murphy gives him racing room, so John Bow moves up to 14th.
Greg's trying to hard force the issue on the inside, and he's got there. Greg Murphy in the wings, Commodore on the inside of the Caterpillar Ford. Greg Murphy, some forceful driving there. Yep, Scape has worked his way back to 19th position, so he's inside the top 20, which is a fair effort. Here's Stephen Richards in the wins. Commodore, his teammate doing it a little tougher further back in 15th, Greg Murphy.
Garth Tander absolutely on fire at Eastern Creek, very fast around the streets of Adelaide. Now finds himself struggling at the back of the top 10. It's just incredible. Look at Mark Noske down the inside. Paul Romano has no answer for the speed of the Holden Young Lions Commodore. Oh, look at that!
Yeah, Crompton and Faulkner.
Well,
oh well.
What happened there?
Mark Scape, he won't be overly pleased with what happened, but he has put in a good drive to work his way back up to 19th. It's not the kind of points that he would be hoping for to come away from Perth, seeing how coming into this round he was outside of the top 10 in something like 12th position. It was a tough day's work at the sensational Adelaide 500 for him. Meanwhile, it's been totally the opposite for his teammate Craig Lowndes. Has been cruising all weekend. Picked up his 6th career pole position and keeps his record intact. He has never been beaten in 9 starts here in Western Australia. Craig Lowndes, the series leader, crosses it up onto the main straight and takes out all 3 races here at Barbagallo. Glenn Seaton, a determined drive, he holds off Paul Radicic for a well-earned 3rd position. That's Radicic's first podium. The kid just doesn't want to let go of that series lead. He's heading for he's well on the way to his 3rd championship from 3 seasons started. Seaton moves from 4th up into 2nd and Bright from 5th up into 3rd. Unfortunate for Greg Murphy, he was the loser today, dropping from 2nd back to 5th. Richards, Noske hangs in there, Perkins, McLean and Mark Scape will get ready for the first wet race meeting of the year. So we take a look at the grid for round 4. Seaton, for the first time since Lakeside in 97, starts from pole. Lowndes, Larkham, there was a good effort. Bright, Ingle, Scape and Stephen Ellery and John Faulkner share the next row. And green, away we go. Lowndes looks like he's got the jump on the pit side of the circuit. Now someone has stalled or slowed there. McLean has got a disastrous start.
Mark Larkham made a fantastic start. You can see him sneaking around the outside there, made a brilliant run off the second row.
That lot.
Scafe too, making a sensational start. And look at the amount of spray. Dear oh dear, that's a dangerous moment trying to squeeze that many cars through turn 1 under these conditions. But Mark Scafe absolutely bolted into 2nd position.
Up comes Jason Marguana as well. Marguana, who qualified 10th, looks like he's come up into about 5th. So a great start by the Gary Rogers Valvoline driver. He's back in about 7th. Faulkner's up there, so too Russell Ingle. The spray is blinding. Let's hope they all get through safely.
Terrible start for Seaton.
Peter Dillman in the Gatorade car. He's gone off on that early lap, but he looks like on the grass okay. Russell
on the inside, Russell.
Well, he wants to be the enforcer this weekend. This car is working very, very well for him. They found a good setup on the chassis. Oh, look at this.
What's that?
That's a tyre.
Oh, the Gatorade car.
It's lost a tyre. Come off the rim. Oh, look at this great battle here for 3rd position. Russell Ingle.
He's got Mark Larkham in the Mitre 10 Ford. Now there's the Dillman car. We get back to it. It's the 2 Mobil 180.
Look at this. This is on a knife edge because especially the first lap, you don't know where the puddles are, and you come round and going as quick as you dare go, and by the time you get to find out where the surface water is, it's too late.
Look at how much they're skating around. Ingle gets a little bit of a break on the Mitre 10 Falcon. The better electrical Commodore, John Faulkner, Jason Barguana in the Valvoline machine.
Bright's gone backwards. He's lost quite a few positions from 4th back to about 9th as Faulkner looks up.
Good run, yes.
Gingerly looks up the inside.
Yeah, he's still there, look, right.
Oh, a bit of a biff there too.
Nudge.
So very, very close. Elbows out on this first lap around. Trying to find the puddles. It's an all-new track surface here in 1999. And look at Barguana, a big handful of opposite lock as they try and get 600 horsepower to the ground. The conditions are very, very slippery. And look look at the amount of spray.
Garth Tander has been a big mover. He qualified well back down the pack in 18th, so he's come up nicely into that top 10. It's
That's accurate. Oh, look at that. That's...
Goodness me.
Yeah,
Did you see how hard he hit
it looked
the
like
ball?
somebody else.
Well, we'll have to look at that on the replay. The car
that
could
was
have
aquaplaned.
could have aquaplaned, or he's got hit by someone else.
Well, while it's early days, there's been a couple of very big movers in the pack. One is Stephen Richards, who sits in 6th position, and Garth Tander in 10th. Now, those guys qualified well down in the teens, so a successful start for them. We are back under race conditions after following the safety car around for a while.
Yeah, that's poor old HRT lot will be a bit upset about that, because they had a really the pair of them a brilliant lead, and in weather like this, conditions like this, to be out the front on your own, it makes a massive difference.
John Faulkner in the better electrical VT Commodore enjoying the wet conditions. It is Holden, the top 4 positions. Look at Stephen Richards behind Glenn Seaton. Stephen has come from well back in 16th position to be sitting 6th outright at the moment. Climbing up over Lukey Heights. This is the shot from Mitre 10 Ford of Mark Larkham.
It's funny how all of a sudden the Fords have lit up, haven't they? You know, it's suddenly come right.
Well, they're making ground. Look at Radicic. Whoa, Radicic barges through. Bright comes back on the inside, so not willing to give up that position. That's the battle for 9th and 10th. Now Radicic has lost a spot to Tander. Stephen Ellery on the back of that pack in the older EL Falcon.
This should be fun at the end of the straight. Oh, look at Brighty up the inside.
So Jason Bright struggling and battling here as he takes the inside line. Oh, that's where Jason Bargwanna came to grief. As he heads down and he has lost a couple of spots. Radicic now looking at an inside move on him as they come down. Tander's there as well.
Out on the sticky stuff out there. That's you see lose a lot of ground there.
Faulkner still sits 3rd ahead of Ingle. Then we've got this battle of the Fords under brakes into Honda hairpin.
Oh, that's Mark Larkham going round and round and round.
And here's our leading duo though, Mark Scaife. Now he won race 1 here at Phillip Island last year, and he's well on the way to doing that again. His teammate Craig Lowndes sitting in 2nd position. This is the way it's been ever since lap 1. Faulkner, Ingle, Seaton, they're still your top 5. Our pole sitter has lost 4 spots.
You see the dry line through, well, the drying line through here. This is what happened to Larry Perkins. He came through there, just got the rear, just off the dry line onto the wet, and it was the end of the story.
There's a bit of debris there.
Well, apparently Stephen Ellery's been black flagged as well.
Oh, look, in front of Radicic.
No, it's
and
Ellery's car.
Oh, dear me.
Ex-Stone Brothers Racing Ford. He's been very fast here all weekend, but look at that. He's been black flagged, so the officials, whether they want to bring him in for the damaged bodywork or for some other misdemeanor.
3 guys that are in the top 10 have put in an outstanding drive so far. That is Stephen Richards, Paul Radicic and Garth Tander. They have come from, well, Richards was in 16th position, Tander was in 18th, and 19th was Radicic. They're now 6th, 7th and 8th, so they've been doing some great driving. And Steve Reed, who is the top privateer, is in 9th position ahead of John Bowe.
You have to be so quick, you know, because it's so sensitive. The second, you know, you feel the thing stepping out to correct it, etc., and it's you either like the rain or you hate it.
We're just through that the Mitre 10 Ford of Mark Larkham is out. The radiator has let go.
And they really are having to sort these cars out virtually as they go to each race meeting. It's a pretty tough call when you're coming up against this sort of opposition.
Now, as far as Mark Scaife is concerned, he'll gladly take the 50 points for this race win. He desperately needs them, sitting well back in the championship. He had a pretty much a disastrous round at Barbagallo. And
Adelaide was pretty ordinary too.
Exactly. So, I mean, he is well back. As the other extreme is his teammate sitting behind him, Craig Lowndes, who comes into this round with a 116-point lead. So you'll see Craig sit there, and Mark will take these points no problem. But Faulkner is looking good in 3rd, and this will be a great result for John. He, as you'll notice, it used to always be the Fisher and Paykel better electrical car. You don't see the first sponsor on the car anymore, but John just showing the new.
Oh, look at this. Oh, through goes Russell. Oh, he just came out of that corner a fraction too slow, and Ingle was there to pounce.
I think he just got on an extra wet part of the circuit, out a little bit out too wide, and just lost all the speed.
And there's no walls in front of these guys. The Mobil 1 cars are bringing it home.
Back in.
Scaife and Lowndes will get the 1-2.
You saw the back end of Lowndes' thing, you know, exactly the same place as where Fulton lost some time.
Mark Scaife has only ever won one race here at Phillip Island in the V8s. This is number 2. As he comes across the line, Scaife and Lowndes from Mobil 1 HRT. They continue their domination in 99. That is Dougal McDougall's car.
That.
The Aloe Vera
Is he in it?
VS Commodore. Let's hope he's out of it. Trying to see at the
I'm
bottom of
just
the
trying
screen.
to look. I don't see any movement there. I don't think he is out of it, you know, by the way they're running.
That is Dougal McDougall's Aloe Quench Commodore.
No.
As we have a look at the grid, we'll explain what's happened here. You'll say, hang on, these aren't the results that we saw before we went to the break. We'll explain why in a minute. Scaife, Lowndes, Ingle, Seaton, Faulkner, Radicic, Richards and Tandar. To explain what's happened with the results, there was a red flag put out when the Dougal McDougall incident happened, so positions went back to lap 11, and that is why this guy, Russell Ingle, finished 3rd despite running off the track. The Mobil 1 car's very well placed. Radicic was a big mover in the last race. We'll see what the Shell Helix car can do. Away we go. There was a big mover in the middle. That was John Bowe in the Cat Ford. He got away to a great start as they're all cleanly away as they tear down on a mixed surface, some dry, some still wet. Let's hope they all get through okay as the 2 Mobil 1 cars, no doubt about that.
Yeah, well, I hope they got some sort of agreement there on turn 1.
Radicic right out of the wet.
Scaife leads him through a great start there off pole position. His teammate Craig Lowndes locks in, and John Faulkner, once again, a sensational start, the better electrical car. He'll hound those two as they come through the southern loop down toward turn 3. Great start for the better electrical Commodore driver.
Jason Bright working his way up from 14th.
Yeah, he can really come unstuck trying to make up some places in this, because basically you see the dry line there and then you sort of nip up the inside and you make a great name for yourself.
They're all hanging out there on that dry line. No brave person except for Bright. He's the first one to come on the wet up the inside of Steve Reed. So the Pertec driver ducking up the inside there. He now chases Tony Longhurst as they cruise around into Siberia. The sun is out here at Phillip Island.
Don't want to get off that dry line. So Seaton sitting back there in 4th position, getting a feel for the circuit. He's got Garth Tander right behind him, Russell Ingle, John Bowe coping with some bench steering in the Cat Racing Falcon.
Stephen Ellery too is on the way back. Well, Mark Scaife has never won a round here at Phillip Island in the V8, so this could be his day. Craig Lowndes, our series leader, is tucked nicely into 2nd spot, and it was pretty much, well, we shouldn't say effortless because they were driving very hard out there in the first race, but this race is a little more comfortable for them at the moment with the dry line. Have a look at Glenn Seaton's last lap, a 1:37.47.
Oh, there you go.
Whoa.
He is right on it now, so Seaton on his favourite circuit. There's no question about that.
And he's pulled the gap down too, Lee, 2.6 seconds. It was over 3 seconds, so Seaton now really getting a move on.
Glenn's record here at Phillip Island is remarkable. Nobody has won more races here than Glenn Seaton, and he has been Ford's flagship.
And Seaton's continuing his march toward the front. We thought he wasn't a match for the Mobil cars. 1.4 seconds now. Seaton's really chomping into their race. Look how close Russell Ingle is as they sweep through this corner, 200 kilometres an hour, really leaning on the Cummins Valvoline Commodore.
Would you like to be in Tander's shoes now, or Seat?
Look how close he's on the loop. He's done it beautifully.
Oh, yes.
Russell Ingle slipped up the inside on the exit of turn 2. Around they come, this fast sweeping left-hander round into one of the slowest corners, one of the slowest 2 points on this circuit, the Honda hairpin. And Greg Murphy has come right up onto the back of the Cat Ford, and it is still the Mobil 1 HRT cars, but Glenn Seaton in the factory Ford is right on their hammer. He is the quickest out there by a mile, and he's down into the 135s now. So from the 137s to the 36s, he has been clearly a second a lap, almost a second a lap quicker than anybody else. So here comes Glenn. We welcome Larry Perkins to the commentary box. Larry, this has been a terrific drive by Glenn Seaton.
Yes, he's right on their tail now, but the hard bit is now, can he get past them? And he's certainly not going to, they're not going to make it easy for him.
Here we go. This is the onboard shot with the Ford Tickford Racing AU XR8 of Glenn Seaton. He is right on Craig Lowndes as they drift through the fastest corner on the track, turn 1, into the southern loop. This is the 2nd turn.
There just almost is round the left-hander before you get to Honda. That dry line is getting wider and wider and wider. So if it really gets right up Lowndes' backside around this, it's just about enough room to get through.
Up over the top of Lukey Heights, there is no doubt that Ford are making ground in their development of this new AU XR8, and Glenn Seaton in the factory Ford, the FTR, Ford Tickford Racing team, They have made a heap of ground. It's been good driving by Mark Scaife today. He's got his teammate right behind him. They're coming up on Rod Nash in the Budweiser Auto Pro car. Rod gives them a little bit of room on the inside there through Honda. Can Seaton do it? We're 2.5 laps from home.
Oh, he was going to have a go. But he was, the guy's covered ahead. And he's...
Oh, hang on a second. And now, did he get through on the inside? No.
No. Bob Thorne there in the second of the Super Cheap Autos cars.
Oh,
well, life was made very difficult there for a moment, but it's not difficult for this guy. Mark Scaife will make it 2 starts, 2 wins at Phillip Island. Well done to the Mobil 1 HRT driver. A good win there. It was close second for Craig Lowndes, and Glenn Seaton in the Ford Tickford Racing AU will make 3rd. There is the man who has cleaned them up today so far. Still 1 race left to go. This is the grid, of course, the results from race 2. Scaife and Lowndes, can anyone beat them this year? Seaton, Faulkner, Ingle and Tony Longhurst, who came from 15th to 6th. Bowen Richards next up. Get ready, the 3rd and final race, round 4 of the series. Wait for the green, away we go. The 2 Mobil 1 cars get away to a good start. So too did Seaton and Faulkner, and Stephen Richards tried to push his way through as we head to turn 1.
Oh, look at this out of the dirt.
That's Noski.
Whoa.
Mark Noski brings it back on. Nice save by the young driver as they zip through turn 1. Pertec Ford driver Jason Bright went right around the outside, but it's Lowndes who leads into the southern loop.
Yeah, you can see Steve Richards' car hook up really well there. That Wins Commodore had bolted off. He ran out of room, got pretty sandwiched in that pack ahead of him, but he made a great start in the Wins Commodore. Great start too to Craig Lowndes. This Mobil Holden Racing team domination continues. Scaife could lose this 3rd heat to his teammate.
Into the Honda hairpin they come. Faulkner's well placed ahead of Glenn Seaton, then Russell Ingle, Tony Longhurst, then here comes the pack. Stephen Richards, John Bow, Garth Tander. Look how close they are. The Siemens Mobiles car of Paul Romano. Crompton well back, trying to work his way through some of the privateer drivers after that earlier incident in race 1.
Down the inside goes Seaton.
Gotcha.
Yeah, well, there's no way that Seaton could... Oh, hang on. Oh, bit of body contact there. There's no way that Seaton could afford to get held up at all by Faulkner, because if he wants to stay with the 2 HRT guys, he's got to get up there straight.
Oh, look at
that's John getting a sideways there.
Russell Ingle slips up the inside. We ride with him now on the completion of the first lap. It is the 2 Mobil 1 cars out in front. Here comes Longhurst on fellow Castrol driver Russell Ingle. So Longhurst is really inspired and motivated after that great drive in race 2 from 15th to 6th. Here he comes battling with Holden driver Russell Ingle down into the southern loop, the 2 Castrol cars. It's been no different to any other round this year in terms of the Mobil 1 Commodores, the Holden Racing team streaking away. Different in race 3, Craig Lowndes leads the way. Mark Scaife sits second. But they are dominating once again. Seaton is doing everything he can in the FTR AU to try and bridge the gap, but time is running out.
The problem is for Glenn, he's lapping exactly the same speed. In fact, a fraction quicker sometimes than Mark and Craig, but it's that initial gap, and having said that, it does look closer now.
Sitting 4th in the championship, and with Bright 3rd and having a disastrous day coming into this round, that will help him. Here's Paul Radicic.
Radicic and Mark
dear.
Noski.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that's what I mean. He hasn't had the luckiest of days, has he?
Big attack down the inside by Noski. Yeah, well, Longhurst really has no defence for any of these onslaughts. Look at this now, Glenn Seaton.
Yes.
This is what we've been waiting for. Oh, look at that! Dear,
How close was that?
Oh, Mark Scaife.
Feeler gauges out for that.
Mark Scaife went down the inside, Seaton went to the outside. I don't know how he held that thing in a straight line. He went right across the grass, but that's allowed Seaton to get really, really close to the number 2 Mobil Commodore. Scaife got it back online.
He's really on it now, Glenn, there's no doubt about that.
2 to go now. Can Glenn Seaton in the FTR AU make something of this? Right up on Mark Scaife. Great end of this 3rd and final race. Can Ford get up there into 2nd position?
Oh, yes.
This means a lot. Glenn Seaton on the inside, run on Scaife.
But now he's on the wrong side for the hairpin.
Oh dear, turn 3, that's a dangerous place. That's where Larry Perkins came off in testing and paid the price. So these 2 absolutely heart-in-the-mouth stuff. Seaton, this car very, very good at getting the power to the ground. It's very good out of slow corners.
Well, it's got to be a massive lunge somewhere, but I can't see it happening because I can't see. Scaife is so good at covering his rear end, for want of a better word, and
let's see, I don't think Seaton's got Scape is really going to have to make a mistake.
Over the top is the only way, I think.
Oh, look at this.
There's no way Mark's in the middle of the road.
Oh, right up alongside him as they come out of MG.
There's nothing you can do about it. You know, the only thing is if he goes out wider, but there's no room. No, that's it.
Dropped off. Glenn Seaton has dropped off. This is the run to the line. Craig Lowndes will win the third and final race at Phillip Island as he flashes across the line. Our series points leader, his teammate Mark Scaife, has successfully held off Ford's Glenn Seaton, and Stephen Richards will bring the wins Commodore home in a well-deserved fourth spot. There you can see it. He's commanding lead over Glenn Seaton. Good news for Russell Ingall. He has jumped up into third position. Stephen Richards holding steady there. Greg Murphy has dropped a couple of positions. But the big mover, obviously, for his first win at Phillip Island is Mark Scaife, rocketing up there into sixth position. Freezer at Phillip Island to the hotbed of Hidden Valley. The long trek through Australia's red centre has been made to give the Darwin V8 fans racing as hot as the temperature. The cars are on the grid preparing for race one. It's a very different looking grid, and let's have a look at it right now. The Shell Helix race grid. Seaton for his second pole of the year. He's eighth in his career. Ingall a much improved second. Bright Radicic, Tander, who was quickest in this morning's warm-up by a mile, is going red hot. Here we go, the Northern Territory round of the Shell Championship Series. Will it be the Enforcer who gets the jump? Or Seaton? It's the Enforcer. What a blinder of a start as Dick Johnson moves to the outside. A couple of the wins cars scoot through. Now we've got to focus on the first turn because last year we had action here. Let's hope they all get through okay. Bright's got the inside run on Seaton. Bow's in there as well. Watch them squirm as the tyres get up to premium temperature.
Craig Lowndes starting out of 7th position, right down the inside, but he's boxed in there, back in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th position, so he's made up a couple of positions. Teammate Mark Scaife a bit further back in the order. They've got a lot of work on their plate today, but here's the man who set this track alight last year, Russell Ingall. He's back on form in 99.
Russell Ingall, Glenn Seaton, here's John Bow looking for an inside option on Jason Bright in the Pertec Ford. So 3 Fords in the top 4, then Lowndes. Then we go back to Tander, pick up Mark Larkham in the Mitre 10 Ford, then it's Jason Bargwanna and Neil Crompton.
And really down the straight there, Bright drove straight around the outside of Bow, so the Pertec car's not hurting for horsepower. That was a great job. And JB's not an easy guy to get past. He knows how to get the most out of his car, and he drives very, very well, and he covers his line. And as you can see, him already moving to the inside because he feel that the Commodores have probably got a touch more horsepower for him, and he'll make them try and go around the outside. But there we go. Lowndes has just made a liar of me.
Side by side as they brake hard from 270 kilometres an hour. Craig Lowndes down the inside of the Cat Racing Falcon. Well, last time around, Lowndes was the fastest man on the track, the 1 minute 09.55. That's the quickest time. So he's sitting back in the pack there. He's got a bit of clean air in front of him while he tries to close the gap to the Pertec Falcon. But Jason Bright's matching him lap for lap. Here comes Larkham having a look down the inside of the Cat Racing Falcon as they brake really hard. But turn one, he's contacted him too.
Larkham and Bow gone.
He's going really deep under brakes there. Maybe ran out of room, Brad. Look at the battle for the lead. Now it's really tightening up. It was out to half a second. Now it's put the glasses down. Seaton's right behind the SLX Castrol Commodore Russell Ingall. This is a fantastic three-way fight for the lead of Heat 1.
So
Russell
too is
Ingall, Glenn Seaton and Jason Bright.
Yeah, Bright in the Pertec Ford. He's hanging in there as well. Keep in mind that Lowndes won this one last year. And look at Lowndes in the background. He's catching up to this trio as well.
Oh, look,
Bright slowing.
Bright slowing. He's got a problem. Now, we'll know in a minute whether he's just made a mistake or he actually has a problem with the car. He's certainly not giving way to Lowndes, so maybe he just made a mistake, ran a little bit of wide. He's driving very defensively now. Take him a couple of corners to get his confidence back, and he's got Lowndes in his mirror now, so he'll be trying to gather the whole thing up at the moment and press on.
In qualifying, the Mobile Holden Racing team, they were throwing all sorts of different combinations at it. Every couple of laps, come in, bring in, change shocks, change springs, send him out again, back into the pits again. They really were chasing setup, and Jeff Gretsch admitted, he just threw his hands in the air and said, honestly, I can't tell you where our speed has gone, but we're not going to panic. We're just going to do very small changes. Oh, big hit from Lowndes. Well, there's some problem with Jason Bright.
That's where he slowed down last lap.
Yeah. Really, maybe he's having trouble getting the thing into gear because it's not a problem with the car overrunning the corner or anything.
This is a marvellous effort by the Valvoline Cummins Commodore team. Gary Rogers' own team. Bargwanna in 6th and Tander in 5th. Keep in mind, as Crompton again tries that inside line. This is going to be tight as they head down into turn 1. He's got him. Has he?
Oh, I tell you.
Oh, gee. Test of wills there. And Scaife takes advantage too. He follows the FTR Falcon through. That puts Bargwanna back 2 positions in the space of 1 corner. Lap 15 of 17, time running out for Glenn Seaton. Fastest man in qualifying. showing plenty of speed in the race, but he hasn't been able to find a way past the SLX Castrol Falcon, the silver bullet they call it, and it really has been as fast as a bullet this weekend. Ingles just been really pumped up. That's outstanding qualifying performance. He even surprised himself. He said he was out on the track doing those 15 minutes of qualifying. He said to the boys, "What have I done? 7th, 8th?" And they said, "No, you're actually 2nd." So he surprised himself.
Well, this is the run to the line. Russell Ingall. And Hidden Valley will stand tall after race 1. He got a brilliant start ahead of Glenn Seaton. Seaton has followed him all the way to the checkered flag. Well done, Russell Ingall. He takes out the first of 3 here at Hidden Valley. Seaton in for 2nd and Lowndes from 7th up into 3rd as we get ready for race 2. Now, our apologies, we had a bit of a timing glitch at the end of the last race. That's why we didn't bring up the results. So the starting order doubles as the results. Russell Ingall to win, of course, and we'll start from pole position. Seaton, Lowndes, Bright. Tander was nice and steady in 5th from Crompton, who had a good battle with Scaife and Bargwanna. Glenn Seaton will be wanting to match him, that's for sure. Get ready, we're not too far away. Race 2 of 3, round 5. Can Ingall make it 2 from 2? Or will Lowndes climb back up to where we're used to seeing him? Ingall, another great start. John Bell pulls out, tries to slip up the inside. Craig Lowndes also got away to a good start, and Jason Bright. Seaton has gone backwards as Bright squeezes over on Lowndes. He wants to consolidate that 2nd spot. Let's hope they get through the first turn. Scaife is in there. It's very tight on the inside, and Bow right around the outside.
Oh, yeah. Well, that Cat Racing Falcon came out of nowhere. He really got a great run under brakes into turn 1, and he's taken maximum advantage. He's up into the top 5. A great start from the Caterpillar Ford driver.
Well, just as they drifted wide there, you can see a few rocks flying, and Wayne Wakefield suffered a problem there where a rock actually broke his wheel in the first race. Now, someone's gone off there. Is that Scaife running wide, or...? Yes, it is. Yep. Lowndes still in 3rd. Then we've got Tander 4th. 5th is Bow. Bargwanna tries the outside option. Look how tight it is.
Plenty of biff and barge on that opening lap when they come up through the valley down toward Corporate Hill. There's always plenty of cars leaning on each other. It's tough trying to squeeze this many cars through that little tight section of road. 27 V8s made the trip north.
Brad, this is a tough first lap.
It is, and I was interested to watch Glenn Seaton in amongst all that. He's behind John Bow there now, but he was getting a bit of a belting around, and they're all bumping and grinding into one another, trying to make up a place here or there. Don't forget, they're all on cold tyres. They haven't got enough temperature in them, and they're probably a little light on pressure at the moment.
Oh, look at that. Seaton's got some damaged bodywork. We go on board with the 1998 champion. 97 champion, I should say, as he gets locked in this 3-way battle. There's the view from Mark Scaife's car looking at the FTR Falcon. You can see just a light bit of damage to the rear bumper. Hopefully it'll break off, but Scaife really applying the pressure as they come up to the valley for the 2nd time. Craig Lowndes back in 4th position. Field sort themselves out around the back of the field up toward Corporate Hill, this fabulous part of the circuit as they weave their way through these high-speed assets. You can see the amount of greenery now. The track was just covered in dust last year. Organisers working very hard to make this a picturesque racetrack, and it's certainly worked. The track looks in beautiful condition. Jason Bright sitting there in 2nd position, continuing that good qualifying speed. Trying to talk to Ross and Jim Stone from Stone Brothers Racing, who prepared the car. We were trying to get a bit of a story on what was happening to him in that first heat when he just went really slowly up through the valley section. And no one seemed to think. They just thought it was a driver error or he missed his apex. But there's other people on the pits who think he had some sort of mechanical drama. So if there was a mechanical drama, it's certainly not affecting him at the moment.
Greg Murphy is up into 9th position now. Stephen Richards back in 10th. And the Shell Helix Ford's right on him. Now that's Richards' car smoking. There's a guard rubbing on the tyre there by the looks of it. He comes right up on Team Boss and team owner Dick Johnson now. Moves out on the slipstream. He could go 2 here. He could slingshot past Dick and get the inside run on Stephen Richards as well. There's a bit of a gap there to Richo as they come down into turn 1. I don't think Dick wants to let him past either. As they come down into the braking area of turn 1, Radicic has got the inside run on Dick Johnson and now moves up 1 position better, and Richards has gone off.
Oh, yeah.
So Radicic is getting positions very fast, and Stephen Richards, whilst running in the top 10, has run wide and lost a lot of positions.
Yeah,
Picked up his first pole position here at Hidden Valley last year. Now he's turning it into good race results after a rather unfortunate round at Phillip Island. Bright, who's well placed in the championship, sitting in there right on Ingall's hammer.
Looks like Mark Scaife getting in much closer to behind. Oh, big break up. Big break lock up from Ingall as he comes up behind the slower traffic.
And Russell would not be very happy about this.
That's Mike Gimmer. I don't think Mike knows that he's even there.
Oh, that's allowed Bright to get a fantastic run onto the straight.
Yeah.
and Lowndes on Tander. Look at them weaving as Lowndes weaved out of the draft. Saw Darcy Russell's car there and tucked back in very quickly. Watch those two guys as they come past Mike Imrie. Bright's not close enough to make a challenge here as Lowndes pulls out as well.
Got a problem. He came out of there very, very slowly. Let's see if he picks up race speed or he limps into the pits. Oh, look, he's gone off the track. Looks like a major problem for the Valvoline Cummins Commodore. That's a great disappointment. He was going so well in that top three, fighting for position with Craig Lowndes. John Bowe wraps him up. So it looks like problems for the second Valvoline Cummins Commodore.
Well, Brad, what are your thoughts? Russell's got to be in the better position, doesn't he? Of course he is, because he's leading, but Bright's going to have to consider Lowndes now, because Lowndes is going to be knocking on his door real soon.
Exactly, and he'll be taking a bit of the heat off Russell, as strange as that sounds, because now Bright's got to worry about what Lowndes is going to do, so he's not being able to run across from one side of the track to the other.
This is the top three. It is Ingle who leads the way from Bright. Watch Lowndes. Will he be close enough to pull out of the draft? He's got a bit of ground to catch up on the Pertec Ford of Jason Bright. He's the meat and the sandwich, the Ford in between two Holdens. On the inside of David Parsons.
Lowndes is having a big go at him. I mean, around the outside in the hairpin, that's pretty brave stuff. Some brilliant camera work there. The nice close-up shot on to see if Lowndes was going to give Bright a little bit of a kiss. So we're less than a quarter of a lap to run in race 2 here at Hidden Valley. Russell Ingall, the enforcer, makes it 2 from 2 as he comes down to the line from start to finish. Wasn't headed. Jason Bright, a very strong drive to finish second. And there you go. Russell will be very relieved to get that one out of the way. As we have a look at the grid for race 3, which is, of course, the results of race 2. Ingle and Bright share the first row. Lowndes and Seaton, Bowe and Tander row 3, and Scape and Barguana the 4th. Get ready. Russell Ingall has never won 3 from 3. Can he do it here in the Northern Territory? Away we go, and Bright gets the jump this time. A terrific start by the Pertec Ford driver on the outside. They're all away cleanly. Ingle has been swamped. Oh, there's contact there between Lowndes and Ingle, and now Ingle moves back over again, and on the inside it's Garth Tander. He pushes his way through. There's contact. Lowndes and hits, and there's a massive contact in the first turn.
Oh, goodness me, you can see it. Oh, Lowndes in there, Seaton in there too. What a dramatic shot.
Crompton's gone around in the background.
Yeah, they're all off over the grass. You can see that heading for disaster. Crompton, gee, he's really been out of the luck today. But Ingle now, after not such a good start, he finds himself back in the order, so he's got to fight his way back for the lead, and it's on. One between Bright and Tander.
Yeah. Tander really came through on the inside quite forcefully. It was a neat move. There was a real concertina effect there where they were nose to tail, and Ingle was in there with a real big biff up with Lowndes, and they've worked their way through. Look at the damage. I think that's from the previous race on the 18 Shell Helix Ford in Paul Radisich, but we knew it was going to be on in one of the 3 races here today at Hidden Valley. Well, here we have it.
Look at
Turn 1. Noski's gone around. Oh, and Radisich has hit the back of Greg Murphy.
Yeah. Might have been a little bit of contact there with the Shell car that hit Murphy, that hit Noski. There might have been a bit of a chain reaction. They'll have to look at that on a replay. But all hell's broken loose on this opening lap. But as they sort themselves out coming onto the main straight, it's Jason Bright in the Falcon. You can hear the Ford fans are up around Corporate Hill as he led this big field around the first time. Garth Tander in second position. Ingle has recovered to fill third on the first lap. See what we've started doing our sums already, and we figured out if Bright wins here, Ingle has to finish at least 5th to take the day. I'm sure the team will be doing their sums, sitting handily placed at the moment in 3rd. But he's going to come under plenty of pressure from Mark Scape from the Label Commodore. John Bowe, look at the battle damage on these cars. They found their way through that first turn.
Plenty of work for panel shops on Monday morning, I think.
Well, I know Ford's motorsport manager Howard Mars will have his fingers crossed. Big run down the inside by Mark Scape. He's taken Ingle for 3rd position. So the Mobile Holden Racing Team driver on a real charge. Ingle goes back to 4th. He's got Bowe right behind him in 5th. And Paul Radisich continuing his amazing run. He's up to 6th.
Chris Murphy has a go at the inside of Bowe. Murphy will get him. Oh, they've come in contact, and Murphy runs wide. That gives Bowe the inside run through, and Barguana's looking at that as we get the rear view from Russell Ingall's car looking back at Paul Radisich. Now, Ingle is currently in 4th position. Radisich looks a great deal stronger at the moment, so Ingle has to finish in 5th, no worse, to win today's round.
And really, Russell's just having a few handling problems there. Maybe he's over-driving or he's got a problem with the car, but he's just getting offline, and as I said before, it's causing him no end of grief. He's hard to be beating at 1,000,000 miles an hour. He's having a look to see who's around him and trying to get his composure back so he can press on. Now, here we have at the front,
Yeah,
Scape
yeah.
all over Bright.
Scape's already taken Tander. in a straight line.
That's actually Craig Lowndes,
Oh, okay,
guys.
so
He's coming back from when he changed that tyre.
yeah, he's been lapped, but he's really struggling there. Look at the amount of understeer he had coming out of that corner. He's got no grip in that car at all. So these two really are the class of the field. You can just see in the back of the screen, there's Mark Skaife. 7.2 seconds it was, the gap last time around, but he's coming under fire from Radicic. He's getting closer and closer all the time to the Mobile Commodore. He switches down the inside. Is he going to have a go under brakes? Boom! A little bit of a tap. And
Skaife's gone. Whoa, he keeps the boot into it and holds it on the track. A little nudge there by Paul Radicic has forced him wide, and through goes John Bowe as well.
And really, Skaife was moved over to the inside to block his line a little bit. Radicic was already over there. He's pretty committed to try and come down the inside.
Well, word we hear from the pits is that Lowndes has been taken out with bent steering, and that was probably a result of that first corner incident. Oh, Glenn Seaton getting way offline coming onto the main straight. Did he keep it off the... Yeah, it looks like he managed to keep it off the wall.
And when that happened, Seaton was in 15th position and Crompton is out of this race. So
what looked like was going to be a great weekend for them. Oh, no, there's Dick Johnson.
Getting back into the battle. Second and last time in front of this big Northern Territory audience. Oh, big hit from Stephen Richards. What's going on here?
Stephen Richards has hit Paul Wheel and has spun. So, unfortunately for Stephen, his bad day continues as well. He's had wretched luck. And they're back with the AU XR8 in the form of Jason Bright as he cruises to his first sprint race win.
Well, we've got Russell all over the back of Mark Skaife. Mark's in a difficult position. He's dropping back a little bit from Bargwanna because he's really trying to cover himself with Russell here, and Russell is all over him. Russell will be at the point now, giving him a bit of a touch-up there. That he'd be angry with himself that he's dropped back a little bit, made a couple of mistakes, or didn't have the car balanced the way he liked it. But he's got his confidence back, he's in control, and he's really trying to press on and get in front of Skaife. Not quite as hard as this one, but a bit of a belting nevertheless.
Well, he was up there. Now that's elevated Bargwanna to 4th, Skaife to 5th, Ingle to 6th. Larkham in the Motor 10 Ford's on a good run. He's into 7th, so too Perkins. And the comeback of the weekend has been John Faulkner and Stephen Ellery. They're running 9th and 10th.
Look at that! Oh, you can
Skaife's
see,
gone.
you can just see Eagle getting very, very close to Skaife as they turn into that corner. I don't know if there was contact there between the two of them.
Ingle is in fact up into 5th, so that will be enough for Russell Ingle to win the day if things remain as is. So as good a drive as it's been from Jason Bright, Ingle did all the work in the opening 2 races with those 2 wins.
Well, it was that stop-go penalty for Radicic which really helped him, taking him out of the order, put Ingle up to 5th, so he's in. Oh, no!
No, Russell's in trouble.
Oh, look at this.
We spoke too soon.
Well, I think we saw that smoke puffing from under the bonnet. Let's have a listen.
Oh, there's no doubt it's as flat as a tack. So it turns out you were right there and I was wrong. It wasn't a tyre scraping at all. It was a bit of a puff out of the engine, and quite possibly all the bent front on the car has restricted some of the airflow, but they usually get it out through the spoiler, so maybe it's just bad luck.
Well, this is it. This will be Ford's first round win since round 5 last year at Winton, as Bright comes across the line, so long as Ingle has drifted back outside of that top 5, which I think he will have after going so slow. Bright, no doubt about that, takes race 3. We're looking back in the pack exactly where Russell Ingle is as they flash across the line. A terrific drive by Garth Tander for second, but Ingle has lost too many placings. There's Dick Johnson coming around behind him.
Oh, what a tragedy.
It is.
Can't believe that. I wonder if it was a result of that accident damage. Maybe the engine got too hot, I don't know, but he's blown it big time.
Well, despite a frustrating weekend, the fact of the matter is that Craig Lowndes still has a 120-point lead over Glenn Seaton, who also had a tough day here in the Valley. Russell Ingle, 670, and just 2 points in arrears is Jason Bright after his magnificent win today, his first race win and round win, first sprint win, I should say. Now, Sandown International Raceway, 25 kilometres from the heart of Melbourne, the place where Ford fans are hoping for a repeat of Jason Bright's success in Darwin. As we have a look at the grid, and new qualifying lap record holder Craig Lowndes in a brand new VT sits on pole from his teammate Mark Skaife. A terrific effort for the Cat Ford team, and John Bowe in 3rd. ahead of FTR factory Ford driver Glenn Seaton. Jason Bright, Neil Crompton. It's a Falcon onslaught. Tony Longhurst ahead of fellow Castrol driver Russell Ingall. Let's get ready to go. Race 1 of 3. Let's hope they get through the first corner. Okay, green, and away we go. Lowndes lights them up. Seaton, a much improved start. Look at Jason Bright come through the pack as well. They're all off to a fairly even start. Blasting up the inside, and then 2 Mobil 1 Holden Racing Team Commodores hug the inside line.
Jason Bright on the outside there. This is the crunch time. Let's hope it. Oh, good start from Brighty.
I'll tell you, he made a great start from Paul Radisich. We're just saying he got a bad qualifying position. Look at that, he's 1, 2, 3, he's 5th in the order.
Look at that. That is a major traffic jam, isn't it? That is quite incredible if everybody gets through here. Oh, no.
One of the wins
Bit of a shortcut there.
Oh,
no, look at that.
Mark Kelly. Mark Noski it is. Yeah. Dougal McDougall crunched in there. It was very tight, but here they go. Mark Scaife, in fact, has got the jump on teammate Craig Lowndes. Scaife cleaned up here in 1994, winning both races and the round. Will be keen to do it again. It's Bow back in 3rd. Then Bright, who got away to a good start, and Russell Ingall trying to get past Tony Longhurst.
Definitely a bit impatient there, by the looks of it.
No doubt about it. These new AU Fords hunting packs behind those 2 Holden Racing Team Commodores. There's 5 Fords in a big lineup as they try and track down the Mobil Holden Racing Team duo, but it's Mark Scaife, big brake lock-up as he brakes hard for Simcoe corner, springs it back onto the straight. The brand new VT Commodore of Craig Lowndes right behind him. Put it on pole position yesterday and right up behind his teammate today. John Faulkner was trying to squeeze his way through there. Last lap around it was, there's Crompton's car. First lap tangle. See them trying to push that many cars through.
Wow, that's a major one. Look at that.
Yeah.
I was talking with Mark Larkin this morning, and he was saying it is definitely a fault with the Falcons on their front spoiler and the splitter right at the front of the spoiler. It is just like a big scoop, and you go off the road.
It's like a digger.
And it is a big digger, and it instantly just rips that off. It affects your radiator, your ducts, everything.
Well, there were 4 cars in practice that were under the existing qualifying record. That was Lowndes, Scaife, Bow and Seaton. But look at this.
Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this.
They can't get past the Cat Ford. John Bow, past Master.
Well, Ed Radisich in driving. Perfect place now, really, because he's going to get a lot of broken air going through there.
Well, his times are pretty good. That last time around, a 1:12.18 for Scaife, a 1:12.19, barely a 100th of a second between the Mobil Holden Racing Team pair. And then everyone behind there.
But it just looked at the beginning, they caught JB up so quick. And,
well, I don't know, I reckon those guys could run faster because a little bit behind John Bow, this car's running in a quicker pack that are closing on these 3, 4, 5 positions.
Seaton sitting comfortable, of course. 3 wins from 3 starts back in 1997, the year that he won the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship.
I was thinking, looking at Ingall going through the...
Oh!
There's a little bit... McLean.
He was our top place privateer there.
In actual fact, when you look at it, it's probably
not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea. That'd come into mind for qualifying, wouldn't it, when you think about it?
So John Faulkner's through on Dick Johnson, but he's certainly driving hard. And Larry Perkins has come from 19th up into, we'll confirm this on the next lap, but it's around about 15th position, so he's made 4 at the tough end of the field. And who's doing it well at the moment is Mark Scaife. Minor 10 lap count on lap 13 of 16, so not too far to go in race 1. There's the gap back to teammate Lowndes and championship leader.
Oh, look at Radisich.
Radisich charging very, very fast in the warm-up this morning, as fast as Scaife, in fact. Look at this, they go side by side, 260 kilometres an hour at the top of the back straight, back a gear, and Radisich sneaks up the inside of the Pertec Falcon. Glenn Seaton too. Well, this is slice of the pie.
This is pleasing to see Paul Radisich finally put it together and get a race result. It's not over yet by any means, but he is there and he's finally got some luck on his side. This is the in-car with Glenn Seaton, the Ford Livet in-car camera. And we've got just 3 laps to go as he chases the Pertec Ford of Jason Bright. Lowndes comes up on Mark Scaife in the closing stages, but this is the way that it will finish. By the looks of things, Craig Lowndes right there now with Mark Scaife.
Scaife is the master of putting it in the right place so somebody can't get past, isn't he, really?
Yeah.
Well, these points will be crucial to Mark Scaife. He wants to get right back into this championship. He's sitting 5th in the order now. He's got a lot of points to make up to the man behind him.
Final corner, they come out of Simcoe corner onto the main straight. This will be it. We're back to the Mobil 1 Holden Racing Team domination. Scaife takes race 1 ahead of Craig Lowndes, and look at the gap back to 3rd. But well done, John Bow and the Cat Ford team, as we have a look at the Shell Helix starting grid. Keep in mind, these are the finishing positions of the opening race. Scaife and Lowndes, 1 and 2. Bow and Radisich, who came from 9th to 4th. Brighton, Seaton and Tander, who also moved from 12th to 7th. A good effort. Get ready to go. Will Scaife make it 2 from 2? He doesn't get away to the best start. Radicic got away to a ripper, and Garth Tander on the inside. Bright's there as well, but Garth Tander from 7th.
Oh, look at this. Look.
Anthony Tratt, that is, who was right in the middle. Narrowly avoids, looked like John Cotterill in the Gatorade car, but it's Mark Scaife who will squeeze through on the inside. What a frantic start as they head down through the first 2 turns. The Toll Express car of Anthony Tratt as the 2 Mobil 1 cars dice out in front. Bright's gone for a skirmish on the grass. Meanwhile, Radicic and Tander, they take over, and Jason Bargwanna has gone from 10th up into 5th.
Yeah, John Bauer didn't get... Oh, one's gone right up to the fence. One of the wins cars. That's Stephen Richards. Car 7. Boy, oh boy, he got caught up in the middle of that.
Be interesting.
Spat out the other side.
Bargwanna and Bright, look at this, up the back straight, underneath the Repco bridge. Bright, and on the inside line is Bauer. So Bauer goes blasting through on the inside, Bargwanna, then Bright. Then we pick up Longhurst. This is for the minor placings, and Bargwanna's gone straight off. He's dropped 4 positions just as quick as that, and there's a problem.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Safety cars coming out.
Safety cars coming out on the circuit.
We are back under race conditions. There's the green flag, green light. Mark Scaife leads them down the straight, but watch Paul Radicic in 3rd. Attempting to make the move on Craig Lowndes as they flash underneath our overhead camera. This is Radicic's best showing so far in 1999.
It's going to be interesting to see down the back straight how quick the Ford is against the Holden. If Radicic gets a good run onto the back straight, gets a good draft, it's going to be really interesting down the end into the left-hander. I tell you whose car is quick. You look at Garth Tander's car next time down the back straight. It's definitely quicker than the Ford.
The thing is about these 2 Mobil Holden Racing Team cars, they're just the complete package. Not only have they got good horsepower, but the suspension setup on the car is so good that they get the power to the ground very effectively. Particularly around Sandown, where you basically got these 2 big straights. Take maximum advantage of that horsepower coming out of the corner. You carry it all the way along the straight.
Very strong showing by Tony Longhurst at the moment in the Castrol Falcon. He's running 5th behind Tander, ahead of Seaton, and then behind him we have Bright. Murphy in 8th, which is a great run, but the big mover in the pack has been Cameron McConville in the John Faulkner VS Commodore, Warwick Fabrics entry. He's come from something like 21st, or actually 22nd to 12th. So keep your eyes out for McConville. Russell Ingall, there's a nice shot there of the top end of the field. Ingall has worked his way from 18th to 13th, so he's on a forward surge. McLean is behind him as the top privateer in 13th position. Larry Perkins currently running 11th. There's Cameron McConville through shot.
He's closing the gap. He's digging deeper. 1:11.77. New lap record, the fastest man on the circuit at the moment. So he's really on the attack.
But how close is it for these top 3 guys? They're dealing in hundredths of a second. Scaife did a 1:11.81. Lowndes a 1:11.79, and Radicic a 1:11.96. They are putting in some blistering lap times, and so close between the 3 of them.
Just can't comprehend that amount of driving pressure, can you? Like hundredths of a second. I mean, you can't even count that. Just imagine what it is, the increments, the tiny little differences in these cars that over the course of a lap actually add up to something substantial.
Out of XR6, XR8 corner. This is at the top end of the Sandown International Raceway.
This is going to be really interesting now.
And he's really having a great day at Sandown today. Winner of Heat 1, teammate Craig Lowndes in behind him. Paul Radicic menacing them in the Shell Ford in 3rd.
It definitely isn't making any ground though, is it? You know, it just sort of seems to get up a little bit and then back a little bit.
Look how close the times amongst these 3 leading cars. They're all separated by 100ths of a second, a bit of a gap, 2 seconds.
Final lap, we're on our way home. Race 2 of 3. And here's the battle between Greg Murphy and John Faulkner. You can see that bare white car. If anybody's looking to get involved as a sponsor in V8 Supercars with a front-running car, that would be your only option left. On our way home, a couple of corners left to negotiate. 1 corner left to negotiate. Out of Simcoe, Mark Scaife, starting from 2nd position on the day, makes it 2 wins from 2 starts. Lowndes follows him home. It's a carbon copy of race 1. It's been a satisfying day for Scaife. 1 more race still to come. Let's have a look at the grid, and of course you can check where they finished in race 2 as well as they come around to grid up. Of course, the Mobil 1 boys will start from the front row yet again. Radicic, his first top 3 finish, alongside Garth Tander, who stormed very strongly in that last one. Seaton, Bright, Murphy and Faulkner. This is the third and final race of round 6 of the Shell Championship Series. Watch car 18, the Shell Helix Falcon. If he gets a good start, it'll be on in the first corner. Away we go. Lowndes
Oh,
away to the
Tander,
start.
great
Tander
start.
through
Look at
the
that.
middle. Here
Yes.
comes Garth Tander.
Oh, look, it's getting squeezed.
Radicic didn't get away to the best start. Wright has come up on him, and the door was shut very promptly for Garth Tander in the Valvoline Cummins Commodore. It is Craig Lowndes who will head the first corner.
Yeah.
Oh, DJ.
See Lowndes move
start.
across and close the door there very effectively. Garth Tander got a great start. He was the meat in the HRT sandwich until they moved across and shut the door very firmly. That puts Tander up to third. Paul Radicic up into fourth. Great start.
DJ got there.
Yeah, Johnson up there too. So that two Shell forwards having a very competitive run.
Johnson has come from 9th up into 5th,
Whoa,
and around goes...
That's Wayne Wakefield.
Yeah, in the Baxter car, the Gary Baxter car. He's filling in for Gary, so they roar up the back straight, sorting themselves out on the opening lap. A tremendous start, as we said, by Dick Johnson. Here's your lead trio. This time it is Craig Lowndes who leads the way from Mark Scaife, Garth Tander. A slight gap back to the two Shell Helix cars. Great to see Dick up there.
Oh, look, Lowndes having a go there.
Apparently
side
caught the
by
broken
side.
axle.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, look at that.
Scaife.
Yeah, he doesn't want to finish second today. Boy, oh boy, he's pushing his teammate pretty hard. The switchback now as Lowndes tries to get a real fast run as they come out of Sunoco turn onto the main straight. But look at Garth Tander. Sensational start off the grid. And he's sitting right up there with this leading duo.
Lowndes has effectively pulled off that move on the inside of Mark Scaife. So this is it. Here comes Scaife now. Back around the outside through Shell MasterCard. Oh! Around there. Oh, that's wide. That'll get Tander through.
Hey, this is getting serious. Scaife comes back under brakes up the inside of the Valvoline Commodore. Scaife, he's got two wheels up on the curbs as he bounces up the inside of the young Western Australian driver, gets himself back into second position.
This will be interesting here. Dick Johnson's coming under siege from Jason Bright, and then we saw exactly how serious Russell Ingall is about getting past the Pertec Ford as they complete another lap. Early days yet, and this has probably been the best race we've seen of the day so far.
I spoke to Paul Radicic after Heat 2, and he was saying that, yeah, the car's got plenty of horsepower, but the Mobile Holden Racing Team cars just put it down a little better than us. That's where they're having the problems. The wheel spin coming out of turn 4 into that long back straight, it's absolutely critical, and that's where he wasn't able to bridge the gap, even though he was actually doing, on several occasions, faster lap times than the leading Mobile Commodores.
Let's go with Dick Johnson. Here is the in-car shot for Shell Helix Racing.
He's got Jason right up in his bottle, so he's going to be looking in the mirror pretty conscientiously to make sure Jason looks like he's in a real hurry to get past him, actually.
Well, the fans may be saying goodbye to Dick Johnson, the 54-year-old Ford hero, but he's really turning it on at Sandown in his final drive.
We ride with Russell Ingall at the moment. His mission is to get by on Jason Bright. Now, keep in mind, Ingall has come from 11th into 7th, so we saw where he got those 4 quick places on the start.
There's Cameron McLean, the sensation of V8 Privateers in 1999, the ex-Dick Johnson Racing Falcon.
Still not short of horsepower, that thing, is it? Really?
No, it's using an ex-Dick Johnson Racing engine, and no shortage of squirt. We saw that yesterday. Look at the speed of Cameron McLean's car. He's certainly hauling the mail in a straight line. Tony Longhurst tucked right up behind him and couldn't find a way past. And that's just raw horsepower, and the car putting the power down very well out of that corner. So Longhurst has got his job cut out here because Cameron McLean has proven himself a very, very good driver.
Back up the front, things haven't changed. Ingall hasn't been able to make any ground on Bright, and Seaton is still in there. Here we go. Scaife remains in second, some 2 seconds behind teammate Craig Lowndes. There he is, the current series leader. Will he make it? 3 championships from 3 championships started. Dick Johnson now back into 8th position and fighting hard though in the Shell Helix Ford.
Age shall not weary them. 54 years of age, but Johnson just driving like a tiger here. You can see he had a bit of top end in that Shell Ford. They got toward the end of the straight, he was starting to haul him back. Seaton was beautifully positioned on the inside for Shell MasterCard turn and picked up another position. So Seaton has been struggling for speed today. He's been thereabouts up in the top 5, top 7 cars, but nowhere near enough punch to be able to challenge Mobile Holden Racing Team.
This is a tremendous battle here. You've got McLean, McConville, Longhurst, and we go back behind him to Mark Larkham. Now Cameron McConville's giving McLean a nice old touch up here.
Zippy.
And he is surrounded by Fords.
Oh, look at
Here's Mark Larkham, and Crompton is tucked in behind him. Here's the view from the back of Larkham's car with 3 laps to go.
Well, Larkham's just been sitting back and having a look at this tremendous battle. It's a good drive from Cameron McConville, getting back into the groove or keeping him well on the pace as the year passes, so that when he jumps into those Global 1 Commodores later in the year.
This is your race leader, Craig Lowndes.
Just to make a change.
2 laps to go.
Yeah, well, he's been absolutely dominant, the 25-year-old. Originally from Melbourne, or Melbourne districts. Now lives up in Queensland with his wife, Natalie.
Greg Murphy with a big dent in his bonnet, running in the top 10 at the moment, courtesy of that Bargwana exit. And there's McConville under siege from Larkham and Crompton.
I'm just amazed that didn't... Oh, look at this. There's a bit of a tussle going on here.
Yeah, you got John Bow, who's come from rear of grid up into the 16th position. So good work from the Cat Ford, and that looks like Mark Noski, is it? Yes, it is. So Noski wanting to get through. And Thomas Mazira tagging onto the back of that list of cars as well. But this is your man, Craig Lowndes. He won't win the day, but he will win the third and final and remain comfortably in the lead as Lowndes takes out the final race at Sandown. Scaife will take the day, and around for third. Well done, Garth Tander. As we take a look at the championship points, there has been movement at the top. Jason Bright now moves into the top 3. Russell Ingall has been pushed back, and Scaife remains there in 5th. Look at Garth Tander, the picture of consistency, but it is still Lowndes who leads the way. And Larry Perkins coming up there into the top 10. 8.5 months of round-the-clock work, and $6 million later, this is what you see before you, the all-new Queensland Raceway. As the V8 Supercars head off on their warm-up lap, it is time to check the grid, and John Bow, just have a look at the time difference there, 0.44 of a second ahead of Ingall. Lowndes and Bright the second row, Tander and Scaife the third row, and Radisich and Crompton the fourth. We're not too far away from the start in race 1 here at Queensland Raceway. Will John Bow build this into his first race win after getting his first pole of the 1999 series in the Cat Ford AU XR8? We're away, and Ingall has got away with a dynamic start. Ingall will hit the first turn ahead as the field swapped down, and they sort themselves out. Now let's hope, fingers crossed, they get through here okay.
Well, good clean start so far as they swing through turn.
Oh, no. Right in the middle there. Cameron McLean there, you see, on the yellow car, mayhem. They'll have to stop you, and Mark Noski's door came open there, his passenger side door. So look, on fire, Larry Perkins.
Yeah, we've got a fire there.
They've got to stop it.
Cameron McConville's out in the desert on the other side.
Look out for the red flags, because they're not going to clear that lot up by the time they come round.
Well, here we go. We are back under green after a couple of safety car laps, and Russell Ingall has got a handy jump. Look at that shot. That illustrates the point beautifully, and Craig Lowndes now starting to put the pressure on John Bow.
Yeah, nice clean start. When they get out of the safety car, they're all in single file, so we can expect a nice clean run on the back straight for the first time. They swing hard through.
Handy margin for Russell Ingall at the moment. A little displeased about being pushed out of the top 3 in the championship, so a win in race 1 here will help his cause, but it's only about a car length. Here's Lowndes all over the Cat Ford of Bow.
Yeah, he looks like he's in a hurry to get past. Hopefully...
Be clear and simple onboard camera looking out under the wing of John Bow's Cat Racing Ford as he cops plenty of heat from Craig Lowndes in the opening laps all over the back of the XR8. Just in behind them, Jason Bright. Now keep an eye on the Pertec Ford because he was the fastest man in the warm-up this morning. Fastest man on the track so far, John Bow, 1:11.13. That's the fastest race time so far, indicated by the fact he's moving up behind Russell Ingall. We go on board looking up the front of the Cat Ford this time. Got all angles covered, to be clear and simple, on-board camera.
You come up behind a bloke like John Bow. I mean, John's got enough experience on board to put it right in the right place at the right time, or the wrong time as far as the geese that's trying to get past. So it's, oh yes, talking Radisich.
So he's on the way up, so too are the Wins twins, Greg Murphy and Stephen Richards. Richards is up into 10th position now, and Greg Murphy has come from 19th to 12th. So they're finding some better performance in the race here today.
John Bow has dropped back a few car lengths now. Right up behind the back of the Castrol SLX car.
Here we go.
Oh, yes!
Side.
Yeah, nice one.
Slips up there into 2nd position, so Bow back to 3rd. It's all bunched up. Bright is still hanging in there. 4th, he's got Scaife right on him, and Garth Tander not too far behind Mark Scaife.
Definitely going quick as he's come up really. He pulled away from Bargwana. And he's on the trot.
Well, that
definitely.
last lap from Garth Tander was the quickest in this entire race at 11.00.
Oh, from the inside, Jason Bryce. Said to watch him.
It's all starting to happen now. Bright's made the move, Tander's made the move. So
Tander,
right
look at that.
So he's found some speed, a little over the halfway
halfway distance in this race.
To go around.
Bell's coming back on the attack as they come
That's a
through.
long way around here. Oh, look at Tander trying to get up the inside now.
Great scrap between the Valvoline driver. He ducks back just inside out of turn 5. Another opportunity as they come up toward turn 6, but I don't think he's quite close enough. He don't get in that leading 3 or 4 positions. He after qualifying is very, very hard.
Russell is running away. Russell Ingall's left out, what, 2 seconds on him now.
Here comes Radicic attacking the inside. Well, John Bowe is really struggling for speed here. Everyone's going past him. So Radicic up the inside after that fantastic performance in qualifying from John Bowe.
Well, John Bowe's doing the right thing. He's obviously got problems. You can see how much Radicic pulls away on acceleration. He's obviously got problems. Watching through here, and if he's
plenty of pressure.
Oh, how about that?
Up the inside.
Nice. That was good stuff.
Garth Tander, he is on fire. The 22-year-old West Australian driver, 1997 Australian Formula 4 champion.
Tander is sensational on those 2 right-handers at the end of the start and finish straight. Tander is the fastest by far through those 2. If you watch, if he doesn't manage to get, he's all over Lowndes. If he doesn't manage to get past, you watch him on the 2 right-handers at the end of the straight, especially the second part. He's totally amazing.
2 podium finishes for the 22-year-old Garth Tander this year, and
Side by side as they come across the start-finish line, building up to 230 kilometres an hour as they brake hard for turn 1. And Tander, an absolute sensation.
from 5th up into 2nd.
Look how quick he is. Look how much he's put out on Lowndes.
Well, it's not very often you see Craig Lowndes having to defend from someone coming faster from behind him. Well, you've just seen it.
Here we go, the Castrol SLX Commodore of Russell Ingall. He picked up 2 wins in Darwin. This will be his 3rd win in the Shell Championship Series of the year. Well done, Russell Ingall. He takes the opening race in Queensland and wins the very first V8 Supercar race on this circuit. And as we get ready for race 2 of 3, and there is the Enforcer, fresh from his first race win. Now, we have checked up on the tyre situation with Garth Tander, and in fact, he was on the correct tyres. He was on the tyres, in fact, he qualified on. Craig Lowndes and Mark Scaife, the 2 Mobil 1 HRT boys, will share the 2nd row. Radicic and Bright, and then we go back to Bargwanna and Crompton, who held steady in 8. All right, will we see Garth Tander's very first V8 Supercar career win? We'll wait and see. Green flag from the rear of grid. Get ready, the Enforcer is on the inside, Tander the outside, followed by the 2 Mobil 1 cars. Away we go! Tander is the start. So too did Russell Ingall, but it looked like Garth Tander.
Look at this lot.
Fair bit of muscling going on there.
The inside.
And it will be Garth Tander in the Valvoline Cummins Commodore who leads the way. Lowndes is on the inside behind Ingall. They all get around so far okay.
Lowndes did a good job to hold that. He got a punt from the rear there, do you see, and got her a little bit sideways, so he did a good job to hang on to that.
It could have been very, very nasty.
Yeah.
Our championship leader out on the grass. Oh, there's Stephen Ellery goes right across the ripple strip. Coming
Look
out
at
of
this
turn
lot.
2.
That's a big field.
40 V8 Supercars doing a tremendous job to get through those first couple of tight turns, all unscathed. So a great job by all the boys. But it's Garth Tander, the 22-year-old.
Oh no, Cameron McLean again.
McLean got turned around there, so he is having a disastrous day in front of his home crowd. Tight battle here between Stephen Richards, John Faulkner and Todd Kelly. Faulkner had a terrific run in race 1. He came from 23rd to 12th, so a big forward surge by him. This is 2nd and 3rd on screen at the moment, Ingall and Lowndes.
I tell you what was interesting, Radicic was coming up towards the end of that race, and I asked why, and he said he really looked after his tyres and really pussyfooted with them for the first sort of 3/4 of the race, and then really came on strong towards the end, so it should be good to keep your eye on him.
Now,
There he is.
On our computer screens, Cameron McConville hasn't registered a time, and word through is that he has a suspected broken axle. So a disastrous day for McConville after such a good showing at his first appearance this year in the V8 Supercars at Sandown.
And look at Lowndes trying to find a way past the SLX Commodore. And Ingall's really got the jump on him here. That Tander's car is working particularly well around this track. Oh, look how close can he get?
Love it.
While these 2 guys are battling away, Mark Scaife has been able to tag onto the back of teammate Craig Lowndes, so we could have this 2-way battle turn into a 3-way battle. Lowndes looks down the outside, but this is into the tight left-hander. Well, the Enforcer couldn't hang on. Lowndes slipped up the inside.
And look who's behind him, Scaife is back. Yeah, boy, Russell. Lowndes has got a little bit better run out of the double right-hander, and Scaife was right up Lowndes' bottle, and there was no way that Russell could do it. But now the great thing is, well, not so great for the drivers out there, it's pouring with rain.
Simon Emmazides.
Oh, that was close. Yeah, it's pouring.
Whoa! Nash!
Oh,
Crash!
well, he did the best he could to avoid that, didn't he?
Yeah.
Look at this now. It's really tricky conditions now. You see,
Look at this.
Lowndes on the inside of Scafie.
Well, the rain's coming down heavier and heavier here. His teammates going, oh, look at this. No team orders here, boys.
And the thing about when it rains is your tyres are nice and warm. You've got to go as hard as you can for as long as you can to keep the temperature in your tyres, Scafie, back down the inside there. And then once the circuit gets saturated, you obviously have to go slow. The tyres lose
Russell's
temperature.
gone in.
Russell's gone in. He's done the wise thing. He's gone in to put some wets on, I would imagine.
Oh, red flag. Well, the race has been stopped. Obviously the officials, I'm not sure, everyone out there on slick tyres, and the rain hit so hard, maybe they thought it was too dangerous a situation.
Oh, yeah, but I have to say, hang on a second, in my opinion, they should just left that the way it was. People can come into the pits the way Ingle has. He was the wise guy. He's straight in, whacked the wets on, and I think that's unfair to him.
And there's still one more race to go, plus this, 6 laps remaining in the second race as they regrid, and there's the green flag at the back. Well, can Garth Tander hang on for the second part, if you wish? He's got the inside run. Lowndes is the outside. Watch the lights.
Lowndesy!
Craig Lowndes gets away to a brilliant start, and Scape and Ingle, here they come.
Yeah.
So Russell Ingle moves in front of Mark Scape. He hangs on to second spot, and Tander has gone back to 5th.
Well, that's a shame for Tander. He's on the dirty side of the circuit, and you know, in the dry there's no grip there. In the rain, it's absolutely no grip. You see, because he lost 3 places.
That was an outstanding start by John Faulkner, who was back in 12th position. Faulkner's there in, what, 6th or 7th? So, great start by John Faulkner.
It's very important that Tander keeps his cool here, because the results from this race will be an aggregate of the 2 halves. And he was something like 2.5 seconds or 2.8 seconds in the lead in that first half of the race. So by the time they've done all their arithmetic, after this, if he's in a good position, he can still win it. So it's really up to the mathematicians to sort out who the winner of this is.
Bargwanna and Seaton working their way through from behind as Radicic menaces Mark Scape in the number 2. Tander just needs to stay as close as he can. A beautiful over and under move on Radicic.
Oh, nice one. But he's on the wrong side of the road.
Radicic.
If he can, yes, Radicic.
Good outbraking manoeuvre there by Paul Radicic. Holds the inside line through the mid part. Look at Stephen Richards in the Wins Commodore. Right there with Garth Tander. This is a great showing by him, and he slips up the inside of Garth Tander. Yeah, Faulkner's back there as well.
Garthcar didn't turn in too well coming out of turn 5.
Although Tander well back in terms of on the track. There he is there in the Valvoline Cummins Commodore. He's got back on Stephen Richards. And now chasing out after Paul Radicic.
Yeah, that puts Tander into second position, 1.4 seconds behind Lowndes on aggregate. Keep in mind this is a race split into 2 halves because of that rain shower. So 3 laps remaining. We're getting some great pictures out of the back of Mark Scape's mobile Commodore.
I think we might see something here, Mark, because I know that it looks like Paul Radicic is really getting impatient, and he's still on the wrong side, really.
Yeah, Scape's beautifully positioned as they brake hard.
Very frustrating for Paul.
250 k's right down to about 70. They come out of the...
Tander's got him.
Radicic had a terrible exit from that corner. Tander up the inside of the Valvoline car.
No.
One more lap left to run in race 2. Round 7 of the Shell Championship Series. And Radicic goes up ahead of Mark Scape, which is obviously the long way around. This is the run to the line. And what's been a rain-interrupted second race will go Craig Lowndes' way. He takes out race 2. Now Russell Ingle across the line in second. Now we will update you on the final aggregate positions a little later on. But a good strong run towards the end. But Craig Lowndes will get there if we take a look at the grid. And of course these are the official results for race 2. Lowndes and Ingle, Tander, Scape, Radicic, Bright, Bow and Crompton. Lowndes will start from the inside. Russell Ingle, 2 of the best starters in the game, side by side. Seconds away, here we go, and it's Ingle! A brilliant start, and Garth Tander splits the 2 Mobil 1 cars.
Oh, the inside of that circuit is just so dirty, and look out, look, it just doesn't no good at all.
Tander wants to make amends here, so he almost just had his first win. He's going to make sure about it this time. Lowndes has dropped a long way back, just in front of Jason Bright, probably back in about 5th position. Tander it is, who's up there in 2nd position. Now someone's run wide. That's Lowndes. Lowndes is off.
Oh, gee, what he's going to buy. He managed to get through without breaking that front spoiler. But yeah, well, Garth Tander was very pumped up after that race too. He said, this car is an absolute jet. And in the 3rd heat, I reckon I can go out and win it. He's that confident in the package that he's got today. And he's certainly using it to maximum advantage so far.
Speaking of a jet, how about Stephen Richards? I got a quick shot of him there. It looked like Stephen was up into 4th spot. Plenty of runoff room. Russell Ingall has bolted. He's away. Apparently, last lap around, Lowndes was as far back as 24th. So that's a tough run. This is Stephen Richards in the Wins Commodore. A great run. Now, one of the few times we've seen this team run up front was Greg Murphy and also Stephen himself at the sensational Adelaide 500.
That's a very competitive run from Stephen Richards in the Wins Commodore. They've been struggling for speed throughout the early part of this season, but it has been a rebuilding process for Gibson Motorsport.
Inside move.
Great move on the inside.
Stephen Richards up on Mark Scape. So Richards in the Wins Kmart Commodore is in the 3rd position. And it's great to see Stephen bounce back. He was suffering from extreme migraines yesterday, wasn't feeling very well at all. So he's certainly
Escape on the inside.
Plenty of inside moves here, and look in the background. Who is it? It's the Shell Helix Ford of Paul Radisich.
Braking hard from 235 kilometres an hour. Escape, feeling heat from Stephen Richards. Richards,
yeah, what a move! Got him, gone, he's gone. He's off. Oh, look at the state of this thing.
That could tell the story. Radisich was right on those two, Scape and Richards.
Looks like Radisich.
It's Joby at the inside there, maybe no touch there, and then Radisich squeezing JB.
Yeah, Paul's got nowhere to go.
Yeah, Paul's nowhere to go and just takes the nose off of Stephen's car, and JB, bit of a Houdini job there. And
to go.
Look at this, look at this. Yes, he's in the right place, Tander.
Side by side into turn 1, Tander's done it too.
And he loves turn 1. You watch, in the middle of turn 1, he suddenly goes so quick through there.
From here to race end, Garth Tander in the Gary Rogers Valvoline Cummins Commodore, the older car in the field. This is last year's car. Well, in terms it's even older than that, it's a VS Commodore. And he's got plenty of new models behind him, but he leads the way by some 2.3 seconds over John Bowe and Neil Crompton on screen there in 3rd at the moment. Now here's the battle for the lead, and look at that. There's no longer 1.2 seconds now. It's 2/10 of a second. So Tander may be denied his win yet again.
26 years of age, John Bowe versus 22-year-old West Australian Garth Tander. This is a real battle of youth versus experience. John Bowe digging deep to try and find his
Oh, yes, under brakes. Oh, yes, through. Yeah, good move. That was
move.
Very good move.
So John Bowe, well, he started from pole today, went backwards, very rapid rate in race 1 due to tyre problems. He may get his win as he looks so strong in the 3rd and final race with just 3 laps remaining. Tander's been pushed back to 2nd, Crompton still maintaining 3rd. This is the next battle we focus on, Lowndes v Radisich, and we certainly know who's moving the quicker out of the two of these. Just through as we watch Lowndes move on the inside of Radisich. John Bowe has been black flagged for passing under yellow.
Oh, whoa.
Wow.
Do you know, it was funny because it didn't look as if Garth Tander was trying to protect his ground. And I thought, well, that's strange. Maybe Garth's, brake problems or whatever.
Well, this is going to be interesting. John Bowe, black flag, only 2.5 laps from home.
And he'll see this time around. And he's, that is seen from the inside and Murphy.
When a car in front makes a bit of a gap for you.
Larkham's through as well. So Russell Ingall's just lost quite a few positions.
Final lap.
Here it is here. Now Neil Crompton. He could be heading for his first V8 Supercar win. This is it, the run to home. He knew he had to get a consistent run this weekend. I think he finished 8th in the first race, 8th in the second. And now have a look at this. He's in 2nd position, chasing Garth Tander. Both drivers here going for their maiden V8 Supercar win.
Basically, all Tander needs to do is just
defend here.
Yeah, defend here and just keep her nice and tight, not run wide on the way out. then over onto the right-hand side of the road. It gives Crompton nowhere at all to go up the inside.
What a remarkable story for this 1997 Australian Formula Ford champ, Garth Tander. Last year he was mechanic on a Formula Ford car. He was without a drive at the beginning of last year. Now he is heading for his first Shell Championship Series win. The checkered flag is waiting, and the 22-year-old Garth Tander takes his very first V8 Supercar win ahead of a very determined Neil Crompton as they flash across the line. Jason Bright will come in for third. A couple of key things to take away from this round. Craig Lowndes has extended his championship points to almost 200, which is a very hefty margin. Jason Bright now leapfrogs Glenn Seaton into that second position. They work back through the order, no major changes there. And we go all the way back to John Bowe. The championship returns to Melbourne for the second time in a month. Today is the short but fast Calder Park, a place where Holden has won for the past 3 years in succession. As we check the Shell Helix grid, Bright for the third time in his V8 Supercar career will start from the #1 spot the second time this year. Scaife behind his teammate in third, Russell Ingall, Neil Crompton, another good effort. John Bowe in the Cat Ford sixth, Paul Radisich and Garth Tander. All right, get ready. This is round 8 of the Shell Championship Series. Calder Park. Will Bright steer forward to their first victory here in V8 history? We'll wait and see. Green light, away we go. They both got away to a fairly even start. Tander got a ripper on the outside. Here they go. It's Craig Lowndes will lead them down. Mark Scaife got away to a nice clean start. Radisich is out on the grass. Paul Radisich is there as well. Bright, now watch the braking duel. Scaife's going to try and tuck in there. He does.
Yeah, it's been close between Ingall and Brighty.
One of the Shell Fords hung out to dry on the grass there, managed to get back on the racing line, but that was a bad start by Jason Bright. The car just bogged down a little bit, and now he's got to chase those. So look at the gaggle. Well, someone's lost the front spoiler.
That's one of the Shell cars.
I'd say that would be Radisich. By the looks of things, he was the leading Shell Helix car as they all swoop over the top. Lowndes leads the way, and Scaife in second, then Bright. Ingall back to Tander. We pick up Neil Crompton, and it is Radisich.
Yeah, Radisich.
Well, that's going to cost him dearly. He'll probably have to come in and try and put another one on because it really does affect the handling of these cars. No, he's staying out there. See if he can fight for position. But this is quite a fast track, particularly as they come down the end of this straight. They're doing over 260 kilometres an hour, braking back from 6th to 2nd gear. The car does require a lot of stability.
Well, speaking of form, none better than these guys this year. The two Mobil 1 cars, quite outstanding. Jason Bright in the Pertec Ford sits third. Saw Ross Stone just before the start of this race. He said, we're feeling good. We can take it right to him today, but it's already proving to be a hard task. Lowndes has cleared out.
First flying lap of 56.42 for our race leader. Scaife a 56.40, Bright a 56.5, 56.9.
This is on board with Glenn Seaton on the opening lap as they squeeze on in there. You can see Steve Johnson just ahead, Bowe out to the left.
Yeah, it's well, you can see how it's so easy to get into trouble, and like that as an example. Basically, you know, somebody in front just gets on the brakes fractionally earlier, and you all of a sudden get on the brakes really hard, and then somebody's up the back of you before you know it.
Some pretty forceful driving there too by Stephen Richards, who went right around the outside.
Because it's just becoming so tight and tough at the top.
McConville looking at Seaton. This car will be handed over to 16-year-old Paul Dumbrell at the next round at Simmons Plains. And it's intended that the car will be shared by Paul Dumbrell and, do you remember Darren Hossack, who used to run in the Wins cars? Well, Darren is coming back. That is the word.
It's amazing now. When I first came to Australia, you thought as the touring cars, the V8s, were all the old boys in it. Now there's some really young guys in it. The chap from the Northern Territory, how old is he?
17.
Just 17.
Just this commanding advantage. They've just got the great race package, the best drivers. They've got the suspension set up working very well on the cars and consistently competitive.
Well, Lowndes has been, to give you an indication of how consistent he has been this year, he has finished in the top 3 in every single race, bar 2. You get back, the battle continues, although Stephen Johnson not as close to Richards. Now he's dropped back and he's come into the clutches of Glenn Seaton. Look at this. Seaton trying to put an inside move on, and Johnson driving defensively.
He's got something loose under the car there. You can see when you're looking under it coming down the straight.
See that.
Something hammering. It may just be part of the bodywork coming loose at the back, but doesn't seem to be slowing Glenn down at all. We're all over the back of Stephen Johnson's Shell 17 car. They go on board with Seaton. Under the heart of this battle, flat out through the chicane on the back straight. They head up toward this braking area, about 230 kilometres an hour. This place. Oh, look at that.
Locked her up there.
Squirm under brakes from Stephen Johnson, really using up all the car's got as they go hard under brakes, side by side. Reed goes a little bit deeper. Now, can he hold onto this as he comes through the corner? He's coming pretty hot. A little bit offline. Oh! Parsons gives him a tap into the bargain. Paul Wheels copped it too.
Wrong place, wrong time for Paul Wheel, unfortunately. Oh, look at this. Jason Bright has closed the gap on Mark Scape, and so too Russell Ingall on Bright.
Jason, yeah.
So 2 laps with inside 2 laps as they come flashing past Rod Nash and the Auto Pro Commodore.
Well, there's a guy using the traffic very well.
Look at it.
Russell Ingall. Side by side under brakes, but
Wrong side of the circuit, though.
Bright's well positioned on the inside.
Brighty ran a little bit wide there, but no.
Ingall goes for the switchback.
I love it when Ingall's in a hurry.
Yeah. He's always in a hurry.
If you can get ready out, no, there's not really enough room.
While these guys battle it out, it has been a reasonably comfortable ride for Craig Lowndes up front. A little further up the road as Russell tries to put a move on, but it's Lowndes' race. He takes out the first here at Calder Park, as he did last year. The 98 winner picks up another win. In 1999, his teammate Mark Scafe will get there for second. It's tight for third. Ingall has pulled out of the draft and the run to the line. He won't get there, though. The Pertec Ford of Jason Bright will hang on to that third spot, and Russell Ingall, despite a determined effort, will finish fourth. As we check the finishing positions from race 1, which are, of course, the starting positions for race 2. Lowndes and Scafe, the opening row. Bright and Ingall on row 2. Tander and Crompton. And Bow and Stephen Richards, who came from 12th to 8th. This is race 2 of 3. Lowndes on the inside, Scafe from the outside. Will he enforce and get a good jump? Away we go. And Lowndes bogged him down. Look through the middle, it's back. Rather bright, yeah. And Stephen Richards, the outside.
Oh, that was a bright.
Oh, look at this.
No, look at that. That's
Oh,
so tender.
Who's got the HRT car? Craig Lowndes. Oh, my goodness
God,
me.
that's a nasty. Oh, whoa,
Craig
whoa,
Lowndes,
whoa.
car 1, our championship leader. You could see there was a contact there between 2 cars. It set off a chain reaction. And our championship leader, Craig Lowndes, one of the wins cars. Stephen Richards, boy, oh boy.
What they want to do is get over there and just make sure that thing, they've got all these fire extinguishers and everything, because if that thing catches fire, that's really very nasty.
Look at the drivers running.
Yeah.
Garth Tander is there, Greg Murphy. All these guys are friends. Crompton in there, they're all concerned for their fellow competitors' safety and welfare. They are all rushing in there to his aid. And that is exactly the same position we saw the Formula Ford crash yesterday.
Identical, absolutely
Oh, look
identical.
at the bank. The dirt marks there are where the Formula Ford went in.
Now, look, that's the marshal's doing a really good job there, because the frightening thing, the thing they've got to be so careful of, is to make sure there's no fire.
Well,
That
I'll tell
is
you what, these are tough old cars. They build these mobile Holden racing team cars like Sherman tanks, massive roll bar structures in them, safety systems.
Here it is from the top angle.
Now, you see, Craig is down there on the left. That's the touch there, right? That's the touch where...
That's Stephen Richards who...
Oh, it's Stephen Richards, is it? Sorry, I thought it was Garth Tander.
Yeah, the white car in the middle was the Wins car, but Stephen was obviously offline, whether he...
That's frightening. Now, look, watch this, where it touches the curb. It's identically the same thing as happened yesterday. And just, you know, now...
Now that car has left the track at close to 200 kilometres an hour, you would say.
That is very, very, very nasty, and we just keep our fingers crossed and hope that Craig's all right.
Well, these cars are built extremely strong, and they are very, very well put together. This was a brand new race car.
Right, now let's try it. Now you see the touch there was from Stephen Richards. You know, I thought it was Garth Tander. It was Stephen Richards. And the touch makes Craig's car pick up the left-hand rear, and then you'll see.
The sole mobile Holden Racing Team Commodore on the front row, Mark Scafe, ready for the restart this time round. Away we go.
Yeah, good start from Scafe. Oh no, Russell Ingall and
Bright on the inside.
Jason Bright.
Well, Bright repeating what he did earlier. He got away to a terrific start in the original start. It's 3 abreast. Oh, they're squeezed again. Oh, can you believe it? Now Bright smashed into the wall.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate there for Jason Bright. It's a squeeze job again. Mind you, at least he's got away, but I think you'll find there'll be too much damage there that to carry on.
Well, right when he was at the front, he went to go. The motor was still going, but I think there's obviously a lot of steering damage at the front, and he's come to a stop right in a very dangerous position on the outside of the first turn. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this either stopped or the safety car come out. There is the SC. So, and there is the safety car. So
when I saw that squeeze and saw Jason go sideways, I was thinking, oh no, don't, for God's sake, don't let it go over again.
single file, and we're back under race conditions with Mark Scaife, Russell Ingall, Garth Tander sitting in third in the Valvoline Cummins Commodore. Ingall immediately goes for a very defensive line down the inside. Both cars displaying plenty of battle scars. Bowers in fourth from Seaton, who has come right up.
It sort of spoke. I thought Mark might have locked it up there.
Finally got a clean start in Heat 2 of the Shell Championship Series race from Calder Park. That great overhead shot.
Race has been reduced now to 17 laps.
It does look as if Mark is going at a slightly quicker pace than Russell is, because he's pulling out a little bit, and that's quite a bit quicker, that last lap.
We ride with the Ford Tickford Racing AU XR8 of 97 champ Glenn Seaton. He now still tries to find a way past young Garth Tander.
Well, Glenn's doing a good job of dialing his car into this track as the day progresses. You can see make some adjustments on his adjustable anti-roll bars. They've got adjustments for both front and rear. They could really alter the car's handling characteristics.
McLean, the top privateer, in 13.
Still about a 1 second gap between Mark Scaife and Russell Ingall in the battle for the lead. Bow some 5 seconds behind them. This is where the action is, where it's been all weekend. Scaife, Ingall, Bow, then it's Tander, Seaton, Stephen Johnson, Cameron McConville, John Faulkner, Tony Longhurst. Boy, we're getting a real traffic jam building up here in the battle for 4th position.
Over the hill on the back section. We're running out of time. And that's the way it looks like it'll stay, Baz. It's the way it looks like it'll stay.
Well, there's nothing else they can do. It's we're just looking at the state of Russell's car. It looks like it's in a bad way.
Great shot down there. You can see the amount of dirt and garbage there is dragged onto the circuit.
Here is Mark Scaife, and he's on his way home. A win in race 2 is heading his way. He's never won a round here at Calder before. This could be the day for Mark Scaife after starting the day in 3rd position. A second in race 1, and he does this one for his teammate. Takes out the win in race 2. Scaife in the number 1 position. Russell Ingall, some valuable points for the Enforcer. John Bow in the Cat Ford will get 3rd, and well done to Garth Tander, who sustained that pressure and remained in that 4th spot. As we have a look at the grid for the 3rd and final race. Of course, starting positions from the 2nd, Scaife and Ingall, the front row, Bow and Tander, Seaton and Steve Johnson, Cameron McConville and John Faulkner. Green flag at the back, we'll talk more about that later. Get ready, race 3. Can this one be Ingall's? Scaife is from the inside. Wait for the green, here it is, and Ingall's blown it.
Oh no! Is he going to get hit up the back?
Hopefully not.
Everybody can avoid him, everyone's seen that.
Oh, Russell.
And Tander gets away to a brilliant start. Garth Tander leads them into the first turn.
Oh,
look at Cameron McConville.
Oh, look at McConville.
He's up into 3rd at the moment. He will go back to 4th, I would say. He's got the outside run. Johnson's been carted wide also. Seaton has slipped through the inside. A nice move by the FTR AU. McConville's getting shuffled back. He's now in 5th.
Well, we said this was going to be an unusual year.
That's a drive, like a drive cut.
Could have been a propeller shaft loop under the floor, but something's broken on that car.
Yeah, part of a tail shaft.
Well, it was all happening at Queensland Raceway in the 2nd race. We thought Tander was heading for his 1st win, and then the race was stopped. Things changed. He did win the 3rd race, but then that decision was overturned during an appeal where they gave it to John Bow, who did go across the line first. Could this be Tander's 1st real win? As we join Radicic, the in-car camera. Paul Weissel, the Holden Racing Team PR guy, ducked his head in earlier. Said that he spoke with Natalie Lowndes, who's with Craig, and he is all okay. Here is the young guy we've been talking about, Leighton Cranbrook and Darren Pate. Cranbrook, now this is the ex-Greg Crick, the ex-Ericsson Trust Bank car, previously owned by John Alcorn. And Cranbrook's father has bought the whole shooting match, really. He bought the transporter and the whole team and has taken on Bob Tyndall to run the show.
I'll tell you what, Lee, it also shows how national this V8 Supercar Series is becoming. Yeah. We've got a WA team this year. Now we've got some guys coming out of the Northern Territory.
Yeah, well, this will stay in Sydney, though, and Cranbrook and his father will just go for a transit between Darwin and the rounds.
But what a future Leighton's got. I mean, he's 17 years old and he's flying. You know, that's incredible. It's
from the 1994 Australian Touring Car Champion.
Here's Greg Murphy and Cameron McLean. Look at Bargwanna! Right on the inside, Jason Bargwanna, desperate to get through.
And he's done. How about that? What a move. Move and play of the day, that was, absolutely.
Well,
that was brilliant. That was brilliant, Bargwanna.
If you're not going to move, I'll make you move.
And Garth Tander, originally from WA, now lives right here in Melbourne. The Gary Rogers Valvoline Cummins pilot is well on the way. Lap 12 of 21. What a determined drive. Quick sneak peek in the rearview mirror to see where Scaife was. He's some 7, almost 8/10 of a second behind.
Here's John Bowe defending from Glenn Seaton. It's been a long, hard day for Seaton. We saw him adjusting his anti-roll bars in the car in the previous heat. He said, well, that's not ideal. You don't really want to be doing that. What I'm doing is searching to try and make this package work better for me. So he has been struggling, which is quite surprising considering this is FTR's nominated test track.
Bowe holding third and holding steady. Seaton fourth, McConville still fifth. Stephen Johnson, that is a really impressive drive. His first time under race conditions since Bathurst last year, and he will finish in three races, 3 top 10 positions. Have a look at Stephen Johnson on the inside here, making a big move.
Yes.
Gotcha. And Radicic will be there as well, ready to pounce.
Oh, he tried to, but McConville shut the door. Well, Stephen Johnson, for a guy who's a little battle green.
That was a nice little nip through there.
Oh, that was a very well-timed move. Positioned the car beautifully, hasn't it? Really put a scrape on it too. 5 laps remaining for our race leader, Garth Tander, still defending a half a second lead over Mark Scaife. 4.8 seconds back to John Bowe.
Look at him catching Seaton too.
Johnson catching Seaton.
Ah, he is flying. Radicic is going with him. Oh!
what makes that drive, or today, even more impressive for Stephen, is he's suffering from a severe bout of the flu.
Yeah.
He's quite sick. As we get back to it, well, Scaife denied Tander from his first win yet again.
Well, this has been the fascinating thing since they've switched to this Bridgestone control tyre in 1999. It's really come down to the engineers working with the drivers to try and get the most out of the tyres. We've seen guys going through and absolutely butchering their rubber before the race is finished. 3 laps remaining. Absolutely 10-10 race driving. These two drivers under maximum pressure. Scaife on the attack, Tander on the defence. And here's the pack behind them.
Radicic still hasn't been able to get past McConville, though.
Yeah. Well, can he hang on?
He brings it into the main straight. Garth Tander will come to the line and take his first V8 Supercar race win.
Wow.
And there's going to be no question about that. There's no appeals, there's no windbacks. He's got it.
Wow, what a great moment for the 22-year-old. He's a really guy on the way up, isn't he?
It certainly is, as we take a look at the championship points. Now, Lowndes' lead hasn't been reduced by all that much, but the significant points are Glenn Seaton has moved back up into second. Mark Scaife has come from 5th up into 3rd, and Bright has gone from 2nd back to 4th. We see Garth Tander maintaining his 6th, and a switch of positions between Tony Longhurst in 9th and Stephen Richards in 10th. Symmons Plains, the tight Tasmanian track just outside of Launceston, the track that's been kind to the Mobile Holden racing team over the past few years, but that could change today. For joining us for round 9 of the 1999 Shell Championship Series, it is a wet Symmons Plains as we have a look at the grid for this full 30-car capacity grid. Paul Radicic, his very first Shell Championship Series pole position, an all Kiwi front row with Greg Murphy. Jason Bright described it as the Channel 10 second row with Mark Scaife and Neil Crompton, and the JB third row with Jason Bright and Jason Bargwanna, and the 2 Cameron Macks, McLean and McConville, the 4th row. There's the green at the back all the way around the last corner. So here we go, get ready to do it. Slippery style in Symmons Plains. We wait for the green, away we go. Murphy gets a great start on the inside, and Radicic too. So let's hope we have an incident-free first run, and Radicic, there's no doubt about that, takes the lead and leads them through the first corner, but he runs wide.
One's wide.
Murphy will take the lead in the Wins Commodore.
Someone else has gone with him too up the inside, but let's have a look at this. It's a relatively clean start. That new starting format may have helped them get through that turn 1, turn 2 cleanly, but they're side by side under brakes as they come down the front straight for the first time. Mark Scaife, Greg Murphy up the inside as they go back to first gear for this incredibly tight hairpin and fire up the back straight for the first time.
This will be an interesting challenge because there's not a great deal of love lost between these two guys at the front, Murph and Scaife, but Murphy leads the way. Last time here in 1997 for Greg, he did very well. Scapes then back to Radicic. He'll be disappointed about that first corner.
I bet he's kicking himself because he just went in there a bit quick and she sort of ploughed on, understeered straight on. So sod's law, you know, as soon as you get out a bit on the dirt, it's really having bad understeer on the front of that thing. You see how wide he ran there. You know, he's having a lot of trouble getting the thing to stick on the front. Watch the next time, see if it happens. Yeah, you look at Radish's car, he's struggling big time to get any grip, either the front or the back by the looks of it. You see how much he's dropped back now. And that's one of the problems with this place. It's very, very tight, and if somebody is sort of holding you up, oh, that's
Dick Johnson, yeah. He's gone right off in the shrubs somewhere there. I'm not sure where that is on the circuit, but it's seriously bogged.
Yeah, bury that baby.
Where's that?
Turn two.
First turn two.
Yeah. DJ, it's not the happiest of days for him.
Well, safety car is out on the circuit. The idea being to slow the field right down while the recovery crews get rid of the car, Dick Johnson's car particularly, which is sitting at a very dangerous point there in the sand trap off turn 2. Well, the word we hear from the pits is that Paul Radicic is having some tyre temperature problems. I would assume that means he can't get enough heat into his tyres, particularly his fronts, because the car's understeering very badly. That means it's not turning into the corner vigorously, and he's really struggling to get around the turn, so it's costing him time. And you can see the way these two cars, as we saw in the first part of this race, just sprinting away from Radicic.
Look at this bunch here.
Quite unjustly, because it's such a good setup for Gibson.
One slip and you will lose a place. Crompton goes for the inside run on Radicic. Have a look at this. Side by side, the two Ford runners. Crompton will have the outside run through the little kick here, and he'll get the inside run down to the end of this back straight.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're pretty brave to stay on the outside through that one.
I'll tell you what, they say the Dick Johnson Racing engines are amongst the most powerful in the field. You saw a good demonstration of it there.
Well, by the looks of it, if Glenn gets past JB, you call him Houdini at the moment, wouldn't you? Because JB seems to have it absolutely covered.
1.8 seconds the lead. Greg Murphy back to Mark Scaife. This is the battle here for 11th and 12th. The Shat Ford is John Bowe and Glenn Seaton in the Ford Tickford Racing AU on the outside. This is similar to what Crompton tried to put on Radicic. Will Seaton be able to pull it off? He stays side by side with Bowe. 240 kilometres an hour.
Yes. So it's just a matter of having the bottle to stay on the outside, and plus the track has dried out a little bit now, so you can use the wider line. And you know, once you've got as far down as that, there was no way that JB could hold him off.
And the car getting progressively stronger, running an engine built by Bo Seaton in-house. Look at Rodney Forbes alongside John Bowe. Oh, let's go 3 wide with Larry Perkins. John Bowe is floundering out there. He's getting past left, right and centre.
Rodney Forbes then up the inside of Larry.
Does a double move on the outside of Perkins. He's well positioned on the inside.
Yes.
So Perkins.
Larry was out on the mucky stuff there and just sort of understeered straight off.
The leads come down about half a second. Scaife really digging deep now, but the time's almost identical. 57.96 for Murphy, a 57.99 for Scaife. They're separated by hundredths of a second, but Scaife this time has been able to bring it down half a second. 1.3 seconds the gap.
This is Greg Murphy. The last time he won here at Simmons was race 3 in 97. Murphy does it for the Wins Commodore team. And excellent stuff.
Look at that.
From Mark Scaife in second. It was almost a full second gap, but well done, Greg Murphy.
That's so good for Murphy. It'll take you 3 weeks to get the smile off his face.
It will indeed.
Really nice for him.
And for Mark Scaife, who pulls alongside, I'm sure he'll give him the thumbs up, but for Scaife, as far as he's concerned, that is valuable championship points as we get ready for race 2. Mark Scaife, something new for you on our Shell Helix graphic here. Their qualifying position on the right, and obviously the position they are on screen is where they finished, and that'll give you a comparison. Obviously Murphy started second and won the race, and the list goes right through there to Garth Tander in 8th position, struggling with the flu. Race 2 of 3, round 9 of the Shell Championship Series. Away we go, and Scaife.
Oh, I don't know. It's a little bit like Scaife was running a bit then at the start, but I don't know. We'll have to let the judges judge that.
Look
at the inside Crompton.
They're squeezing each other nice and tight through that tight left-hander. Tander got away to a good one also. Cameron McLean there is being overtaken. They all slip and slide through very difficult and challenging conditions, and Radicic has got damage.
Oh, look at the mist down the back there. But Paul Radicic has collided with someone, done some damage to the front of his car, so his day is going from bad to worse. But Crompton won that little scrap with Bargwanna. He comes up to 3rd position. The field sort themselves out through the hairpin. One spun back there. Looks like Tony Longhurst in the Castrol Falcon.
Well, we'll see how we go this time round, because Murphy, each time when Scaife was a lot closer to him in the first race, was getting out of the hairpin, was getting the power down a lot more effectively than Scaife, and Mark acknowledged that after the first race. So we'll see how Greg goes, whether he gets a clear run on Mark Scaife. It is a lot more difficult conditions here. The rain, there is Radisic's car, so it is not his day after picking up his first pole position. It's going from bad to worse. Here's your race leader. We ride now with Mark Scaife in the number 2 Mobile Holden Racing Team Commodore. As he... Whoa, he's gone! Scaife has lost it! Or did he hang on to it? No, he has.
I think he's hung on to it. But
whoa, Murphy is through.
Murphy's passed, but did you see Mark's eyes? Whoa, that was... we didn't see that one from outside, but looking by the state of Mark's face, it was a pretty good one. They're not that far behind Mark, are they, when you look at it?
Here's Bargwanna having a sneak peek up the inside, but won't do it.
Oh, a little bit of the old touch up the... What's it?
I'm here.
Hello.
The Mitre 10 lap counter indicates lap 7 of 22. We've still got plenty of action left in this one.
Here they come through the spray. Bargwanna, Crompton now defending from Tander. Has a look down the outside as they break hard for the hairpin.
I'd say that's one of the most things to get used to in a touring car when you first ride. Is in this where you never get used to it. This kind of visibility, or the lack of visibility in the rain. It's just you think, I'm bloody mad, you know, I'm flat out here, I'm doing 140, 150 mile an hour, can't see anything. Or you can be hoping to see the guy's brake lights in front of you. It's
just looks incredibly dangerous, doesn't it?
It is, really, when you think of, oh dear, here we go, Parsons.
David Truckee Parsons, car 98.
Now is that on the outside of turn 2? If it is, we will see a safety car condition, because that's where Dick Johnson went off. Where is that?
That's
exactly the same position.
That's it. Oh yeah, exactly that. Oh no, look at that.
That's Murphy.
Murphy spun. Now he's got a big dent in the back bumper. I wonder if he was leaned on there. Well,
just gets through in front of Russell Ingall and rejoins behind teammate Stephen Richards.
There's the Pertec Ford, and
that is in even a more dangerous position.
That's in a really bad position.
He's out on the track.
That is mega dangerous there.
We are back under green. Scaife leads the way as Tander looks for a way past Neil Crompton. So new race leader Mark Scaife. Through they go. Big puddle of water there on the inside of turn 2. Bargwanna, Crompton, Tander, they are still your top 4, and Murphy has dropped back. So too has Cameron McLean, who has drifted all the way back to 22nd after we saw him running off.
4 laps remaining for Mark Scaife. 2.9 seconds the lead over Bargwanna. He's pumped it out by another 1/10 of a second. Crompton's dropped back a few car lengths now from Bargwanna. Tander all over the FTR Falcon. Cameron McConville defending hard from Russell Ingall. The 35-year-old charging hard, trying to keep his championship hopes alive. The SLX Commodore made great gains to get onto the back of this train, but he hasn't really moved up from there.
We may very well see Neil Crompton on the podium at the end of the day as they begin their final lap and the run home around the 2.41 kilometre Simmons Plains circuit. Scaife looking so strong with a 2.5 second lead over Jason Bargwanna. Now, word through that although they are thinking about, and when I say they, the officials evaluating the tyre situation, apparently the word from the pits is that Bridgestone only have 10 sets of wets left.
That's a major dilemma then, Lee, because you're talking about a safety aspect here, you're not talking about purely competition.
This is the run for home, and Mark Scaife picks up the win in race 2 here at Simmons Plains. Here's the first 2 pages of graphics for you. Scaife and Bargwanna, Crompton, Tander, Ingall and Seaton. Ingall was getting stronger at the end there. McConville you can scratch from this one, and we'll be talking with Cameron. He'll join us in the commentary soon. And Stephen Richards you can also scratch. Get ready, this is race 3. Round 9 of the Shell Championship Series. Will we see Bargwanna take the win, or will Scaife get 2? Away we go!
Just no escaping.
Scaife sort of bogged down at the start there, plenty of wheel spin, but he will take him into the first corner. Bargwanna dives into second. Look at Ingall on the inside of Tander. He's got him. A nice move by the enforcer, so he's there. Tander tries to fight back. Bow squirms out of there, and Murphy is in there also.
Well, looks like that new grid formation has been a big success at Simmons Plains. 3 clean starts as they go through the 1 and 2 combination. Look at Jason Bargwanna. He might have got beaten off the line, but he's back on the attack as they break hard for the hairpin for the first time. On the outside of Mark Scaife, switches across. Neil Crompton in 3rd position. Then the enforcer, a great start from Ingall. He's up to 4.
The overwhelming comment from every driver is that we could go faster, but you just cannot see. And they said it is driving by braille. You just cannot see out there. Cameron McConville will give us more of an idea about that shortly during this race. There's Garth Tander didn't get away to the best of starts, and Russell Ingall was able to capitalise on that.
Oh,
there's that big puddle of water. Watch Bargwanna. He's all over the back of Scape on the opening lap.
Mark Scape, lights ablaze, brakes hard again, keeping Bargwanna boxed in.
Ingall's on the charge in this one.
Now, you may notice that Russell Ingall doesn't have his windscreen wiper in operation. He's decided to go for the Rain-X option, which is the liquid that you put on the windscreen and it beads the water. So that's why there is no windscreen wiper on Ingall's car. Here's the replay of his start.
Oh, look at that. Oh, great. Yeah, just got great grip off the line and up the inside of Tander, and basically he's on the proper side of the circuit, or the right side of the circuit, and it was all over Red Rover.
Good example, too, of how that Rain-X product works. It's a film that they wipe across the glass, and the water just beads off it. It's almost more effective than a windscreen wiper, and Russell's using that to very good effect here as he climbs right up behind Neil Crompton.
The problem is, you see, if you were brave enough to get alongside there, around that next right-hander, there's no way that you would go on the outside in this, with the conditions like this, Mark.
Well, Crompton said there's so much dirt and garbage on the track that he actually was getting hit in the face with stones flying around inside the cabin. He actually pulled his helmet visor down to protect his face. There is so much rubbish and dirt out there. It's really causing havoc.
Well, if Bargwanna can stay here, here's Crompton.
Oh, boy, Neil. I wouldn't mind betting it was, that's the left-hander where the water is on the inside there. And I'm pretty sure I would say that, oh, no.
This is out of Ingall's
yes,
car.
that's it. That's the big puddle on the inside
That's
of
what he's done.
The restart in race 3, they've cleaned up. You can see Crompton off to the side of the track there. Now, Ingall is very much closer to Bargwanna as they head up towards the hairpin for the first time in the restart. Bargwanna is no longer challenging Scape. He is defending from Ingall.
Yep, down toward the hairpin once again. Scape showing superior speed in these bad conditions, but Russell Ingall really the mover in the pack. Up from 5th position, jumped into 4th of the first corner. Now he finds himself up in 3rd after Crompton's off. So Ingall really on a flyer.
Day's over for John Faulkner. I mean, you're doing, what, 230 kilometres an hour, still even in the wet through that sweeper.
Yeah, it's flat out in 6th gear, so you can still go through there flat in the wet, but I had problems with the engine sort of overheating as the race went on, so the fluid going up on the windscreen was making it even worse. It's just, you are really, really blind and just looking for the white lines to see where the bitumen is.
Russell Ingall is really starting to close up on Bargwanna, and Bargwanna is closing the gap on Scape as well, so we are in for one great race.
And should just be able to see about now. You can see his pupils got a little bit bigger and bigger and bigger. Back to 3rd gear. Watch that the car doesn't understeer, because there's that puddle on the left that we've seen most of the weekend, or most of today certainly. Short shift to 4th through here, just feeding on power.
Tander's gone! Garth Tander has gone in exactly the same position as Neil Crompton and in exactly the same way.
Yeah, exactly. That's the killer puddle.
Ingall is through on Bargwanna. So persistence has paid off for the enforcer, and he's gapped Bargwanna quite considerably very quickly. Lap 20 of 23.
Well, you never know. We never saw it. Maybe Jason made a mistake or something, because he's got a pretty big lump pretty quickly, hasn't he?
So it's Scape, Ingall, Bargwanna. Seaton is up to 4th, the quiet achiever after starting the day in 12th. Now look at this, the enforcer is right on Scape.
What a mate. How about that for a charge?
So here comes Russell Ingall.
Look at this, look at this.
Within 2 laps, he has caught Mark Scape after passing Jason Bargwanna.
I'd say Scape is in a pretty big...
Oh, he's gone for the inside run.
Oh, how good is that? It looks to me as if Scape is in mammoth tyre trouble. I don't know whether he is or not, but maybe Russell looks after his tyres a bit better in the first couple.
This is it, the final 2 corners. Mark Scape in the Mobile Holden Racing Team Commodore. The enforcer isn't giving up though. The final corner, the run to the checkered flag, and Mark Scape will pick up his 5th round win of 1999. Scape takes it out from Russell Ingall in a very determined drive. Few of the HRT boys there extremely happy with their run, but Russell Ingall, how about that? A sigh of relief from Mark Scape, shakes her head and says, thank God I am home.
That was a great drive from Ingall, wasn't it? Absolutely.
There's Russell and Mark waving to each other, the toughest of competitors, but sportsmanship prevails, and Russell just opening up the door and waving to this huge crowd here. 9 of 13 rounds down, and we have a look at the point situation. The 170-point lead that Craig Lowndes had at the beginning of this round has now evaporated to 40, and the man chasing him the hardest is his teammate Mark Scape. Now Glenn Seaton maintains his 3rd position. Bright is back in 5th, and we have a newcomer in the top 10. It is Valvoline driver Jason Bargwanna. Raceway just outside Vanilla in Victoria's rural northeast. is again bulging with a capacity grid and ready to repeat last year's round of the year. Have a look at that, the field spreading all the way back to what is now the new pit straight as we check out the Shell Helix grid. Jason Bargwanna, his very first V8 pole position alongside teammate Garth Tander. Ingle is going very quick here. Bright, Bow, Murphy, Longhurst and John Faulkner is one to watch today too. Very quick in the morning warm-up. This is round 10 of the Shell Championship Series. It's an all Valvoline front row. Hitting the rev limiters, bouncing off the rev limiters. Away we go, and it's Bargwanna clearly in front. Bright storms on the inside. What a start by Jason Bright and Russell Ingle. And Tander has gone from second back to fourth. Murphy got away to a flyer. Faulkner a good start too.
Yeah, good start from Craig Lowndes as we go to our cherry picker shot right above the track. There's a bit of a contact there at turn 2.
That's
one
Crompton.
Of the Ford credit cars, Neil Crompton, car 6, right back in the order.
I was saying you only have to turn the clock back 2 years, and these two guys that are leading, that are battling at the front of this race, Bargwanna and Bright, were here in Formula Holdens the year that they ran 1 and 2 in that championship. Now they're leading the first race of 3 here at the Shell Championship Series, the Winton round. Look at Bright already starting to menace the back of the Valvoline Cummins VT.
Jason Bargwanna, our 7th pole winner from 10 rounds so far, ultra competitive. The Shell Championship Series in 1999. We've been waiting for these other teams to get their act together. They've really closed the gap to the Mobile Holden Racing team, which is struggling here today. Russell Ingle sitting back there in 3rd position. Bright climbing all over the back with the Valvoline Commodore of our pole position man, Jason Bargwanna.
Tander's through on the inside of Ingle. Great move going into the Motorsport S's. So he's now up into 3rd, and here comes Greg Murphy on the inside of Ingle. This will be interesting as they head down into turn 1. Murphy already challenging after starting 6th. The end of lap 1, Bargwanna still leads from Bright. Tander and Murphy is through, so the move came off. Ingle now back to 5th.
Yeah, Murph's really on the charge here, continuing the good form they showed at Simmons Plains. Oh no, he's come off! He's come into the sweeper way too hot. What happened there?
Tander has got by Bright, so the 2 Valvoline cars back in the top 2 positions. Then Bright, then Russell Ingle. Now Craig Lowndes, word from the pits, is in pit lane. Getting the car seen too. Paul Radicic has come right up as well from starting in 11th. Radicic is there into 6th.
Good battle as they come through the tree once again. Very, very tight part of the circuit here around the gum tree, they call it. Strathfield hairpin up towards Repco corner.
Radicic is catching up dramatically in 6th position. He is right on the end of this group as we join Russell Ingle. The inside run on Jason Bright down into turn 1. Gotcha.
Got him.
Oh, that's a good move.
Great move. He set it up on the exit of the S's onto the straight there. Jason had a little bit of oversteer on the exit of the corner, and I'm just really surprised at this stage at the lap times. Quite slow and conservative at this early stage of the race. Well, this circuit, the bitumen surface, is quite different to any other circuit in Australia, except for perhaps Ipswich, Queensland Raceway, which is quite similar, but it has caught a lot of teams out this weekend. The local teams, like obviously Valvoline and Russell Ingle and Larry, have had a huge advantage, and it's showing now.
There's Mark Scape, sitting right back in the order. So it has not been a good start to the weekend for the Mobile Holden Racing team.
You're right, Mark. It's interesting that Craig's also back out there, and he set the 2nd fastest time of the race so far on his previous lap. So they're back out there trying to make up time.
Yeah, look at that. Life is a lot more comfortable now for Jason Bargwanna as Tander handles the challenge from Ingle and Bright.
It's just extraordinary, though, to see Glenn Seaton 3rd in the points and Jason Bright 5th in the points when you look at the results. The Falcons have been monstered this year. When you look at it, 24 race wins to Holden, 2 race wins to Ford, and yet they're so high up in the battle. It just shows consistency pays off.
That's the word, isn't it? Ingle maintaining that 3rd position quite well at the moment.
Down to Honda corner, Jason Bright goes around on the inside. He's hard under brakes and he gets him. So Ingle move back another position. This is a great battle for 3rd between the Ford and the Holden. I don't know what's happened to Russell there, but he's dropped way off the back of these two. After getting passed by Jason Bright. So hopefully Ingle can gather it up, and Bright really getting very intense in this battle up the inside. A beautiful move. I think he caught him napping there, Cameron.
Yeah, well, he got a great run out of the right-hander at the end of the back straight there, and I just wonder whether Jason Bright has been looking after his tyres in the early half of this race and has decided to press on, because the car is looking very, very quick.
With 3 laps to go, Privateer Steve Reed makes the inside run on Johnson. So Reed is now up into 7th position. It had an unbelievably strong run yesterday in the Privateers race as Johnson drifts wide, and Nathan Pretty comes through in the DeWalt Commodore So he is now up into 8th position. Jason Bargwanna begins his final lap.
Well, it's just fantastic to see Bargs rising to the top of the tree. Sky raced a Formula Ford a few years ago, and he did it on absolute minimum amount of money. He used to run on second-hand tyres. It was a real struggle. Then he moved to Formula Holden, showed a lot of raw speed there. To see him now at the top of the V8 Supercar tree, it's very satisfying.
There's only 2 corners left to go. This sequence of S's here, and onto the main straight. Bargwanna takes out race 1 at Winton, and will be delighted. Look at him
Just
punching the steering wheel.
A little bit happy about that one, isn't he?
He certainly shows his enthusiasm.
Jason Bright in the Pertec Ford, a very solid second, but quite a ways behind Jason Bargwanna, and the second Valvoline Cummins Commodore in for third. Tandera also a strong drive. Ingle 4th as we get ready for race 2. Here are the positions: Jason Bargwanna, Jason Bright, Garth Tander and Russell Ingle. Don't forget the positions on the right-hand side there are where they started in the first race, and of course the positions are where they finished in the first. Nathan Pretty, an amazing 25th to 7th, and Mark Scaife did good work to come back to finish 8th in the first. Get ready to go, race 2 of 3. Away we go, a fairly even start, although Bright may have got the better. He moves across, but Bargwanna will have the inside run. Ingle solidly in 3rd.
Yeah, looks like a nice clean start to heat 2 so far. It's this big pack shuffled through turn 1. Jason Bargwanna just got the jump on Bright. It's pretty evenly matched as they came off the line, but the Valvoline Cummins car absolutely on fire today.
Someone who did get a very good start, and that's Nathan Pretty. It looks like slowing down, so 7th to the back. Something has happened to the DeWalt Commodore. Scaife got away to a terrific start and was right up there already with Radicic and Longhurst, so watch for Mark Scaife in this one as they settle themselves down on the opening lap. 36 cars all sorting themselves out on the Winton circuit. Bargwanna, Bright and Ingle. Russell seems to have got away to a great start in this one, and he's already lining up an outside move on Bright into the left-hander.
Hard on the brakes here. Looking for a good exit speed down the main straight. You can see that the Falcon's putting its power down really well there out of the tight corners, and that's giving Jason a little bit of breathing space.
But here's our leading bunch: Jason Bargwanna, Jason Bright, the 2 JBs. Then we've got Russell Ingle, Garth Tander in the brand new VT Commodore, and Tony Longhurst. It's been like this lap after lap. No one able to make a move. Their lap times virtually identical.
Well, the big difference here is that the interval between Bargwanna and the Pertec Ford has closed up considerably. Bargwanna no longer enjoys that big lead that he had over Bright. And Ingle and Tander are right there, Longhurst looming in the background, and there's quite a large gap back to Tony Longhurst. So the pressure now starting to come back on as Tander slips up the inside of Russell Ingle. Nice move. Lap 9 of 15.
2-car war for the lead here. Bright really applying maximum pressure. These 2 great adversaries from Formula Ford and Formula Holden now going at it hammer and tongs in V8 Supercar. Bargwanna a 125.37, Bright a 125.38, 100th of a second in it. Maximum pressure driving from the Holden and Ford competitors.
It's a pleasing run for Paul Romano. That team have had no end of trouble this year.
Oh!
Big domino effect there. Lowndes hit Faulkner, Faulkner hit Romano, and Lowndes has lost out. He drifts wide, and Faulkner was the winner there. Slipped through on Paul Romano, and Stephen Richards is in there also. He's now lost that position to Lowndes. Dick Johnson hanging around, and Mick Donoghue.
And there's Mark Paul in the John Deere machine. Spins like, David Parsons.
Ingle fighting hard to maintain that 3rd position. We're running out of laps. Wasn't that long ago that we said Escape is right on Paul Radicic here. We were saying that Radicic was in a race on his own. Now Mark Scaife is in a position to move into that top 5. Well, that really is an outstanding effort from Lowndes, considering he started the day around, where was it, 14th or something like that. Drifted right back in race 2. And now he's not only in the top 10, he's in 7th position. And challenging Mark Scaife, the outside run. Scaife's got the inside run into the Motorsport S's. And Faulkner is looming in the background as well. Just 2 laps remaining in race 2. Bargwanna still leading the way, only so slightly over Jason Bright. But this is where the big action is. For 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th, Faulkner now comes into the mix.
And Craig's got a great run onto the straight here, but I think Scapey's going to make him go the long way, that's for sure.
Well, we saw how effectively the VS does climb out of the corners at Calder when Garth Tander was coming onto the main straight and pulling away from Mark Scape.
Oh, look at the power down there at the VS, but again, you have to really brake quite late here. And there is a bump in the road that upsets the braking, but Craig's going right around the outside. Not going to do it. Final lap too.
So the winner's probably going to come from one of these two. Can Jason Bright find a gap? It's been pretty tough. Bargwanna really on form at Winton this afternoon.
Well, we haven't seen him put a foot wrong in the 2 races today. Qualifying, he had a bit of a mishap on his quick lap. After he posted that time, he spun off going through the sweeper.
But look at the power of that Valvoline car. I mean, that has really helped Jason in this race.
Some history in the making for the Gary Rogers Valvoline Cummins team. They've never won 2 races in a round, and they win here. Bargwanna again. He makes it 2 from 2 from Jason Bright in the Pertec Ford. A nice run by Russell Ingall in the SLX Commodore. As we check the starting grid for the 3rd and final race, can Bargwanna make it 3 in a row? We'll wait and see. Bright, Ingall, Tander, Radicic, Scaife, Lowndes and John Faulkner, who's had a pretty good day. 3rd and final race of the day. Away we go. Barely even started, looked like. Bargwanna moves across, protects that line as they all swoop down into the first turn. Radicic was fairly aggressive on the inside. Tander was the big loser there. He went back. Longhurst getting sideways.
Well, looks like the argy-bargy of the past has really been left behind. Last 2 meetings, very clean racing. It's continued all through today. Start to heat 3. No collisions by the look of it on this opening lap. Looks like one of the cars may be in trouble there. I'm not sure if that's Cameron McConville, but someone was going slow.
I think it might be Cameron McLean, actually.
Yeah, Cameron McConville's right here.
There's too many Cams.
No, I think it was McLean that time round, but Paul Radicic got a great start. Was you see one of the Parsons speedwaying back onto the road, but Radicic was the big winner at the start there, and Tander obviously the loser going backwards at a rapid race.
Ingall is well placed in 3rd. Then we go back to Radicic having his run of the day. Now Bright's trying to get an inside run here. Was there contact there between he and Ingall? Because he got it mighty crossed up all of a sudden. Now he protects his line very vigorously as Tander tries for the inside of Radicic.
Radicic muscling in on turn 1. Jason Bright got so sideways coming out of the S's there. Russell Ingall was almost able to capitalise.
Here's Craig Lowndes, the series leader, all over the back of his teammate.
Well, Scapey had a few problems in that second race, Lee. He actually had a puncture on the start line. They had to replace the tyre, and it was a left rear, which does all the work around this circuit, putting the power down. So the last 3 or 4 laps, he was really struggling in that second race. So hopefully some fresher rubber on board for this last race, and he can try and get some more points. But Craig is doing a great job in this VS. They actually didn't make any changes at all to the car in between races, but they're saying that they're just chipping away, and Craig's driving around the problems as best he can.
Oh, through goes Stevie Richards. Up the inside, ran wide, and the Wins Commodore went straight through.
That was a beautifully judged move. I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to get across. But Scaife gave him racing room. Sorry, Lowndes gave him racing room. So Richards on a bit of a charge.
Well, it's been a very impressive run by Stephen Richards, considering where he started, and he hits Mark Scaife.
Oh dear, oh dear. Well, I think Tim Schenken, Clark, of course, is going to have another look at that one.
Wow.
A big tap up the back. Whoa.
Oh, sideways under braking there. Now, very big oversteering moment for Bright. He got onto the marbles, but it didn't actually look like the rear tyres locked. So I'm not sure if there was a problem in the rear suspension, a roll bar or something, but certainly some oversteer on the way into the corner and slid wide, and now he's lost 4 spots.
Well, black flag shown again to Stephen Richards and the Wins Commodore. So that little dent in the front of the car after that collision with Mark Scaife.
Neat piece of work by Dougal McDougall too to give it a little squirt and get out of the way of Mick Donoghue as Russell Ingall is really applying the pressure now to Jason Bargwanna. We saw Bright on Bargwanna earlier, but I think Russell's going to give him a different kind of pressure. We know that Russell likes to drive aggressively, and he will really test Bargwanna here. There's plenty of time left for Russell too.
Ingall hasn't given up hope. And John Faulkner also has been consistently lapping in the low to mid-25, so he's close right up on this bunch as well.
Tander drives defensively. Bright has had to wait yet again for a shot. Now he looks at the inside. He's getting a hurry along from Craig Lowndes. It's frantic in the final few laps.
Interesting talking to Mike Excel, who builds the Chevy engines for the Valvoline Cummins team. I said, Mike, looks like you're getting a fair bit of squirt out of these things. And he said, well, yeah, they're adequate. I think he's underplaying that a bit. I'm sitting there looking forward to a strong performance at Bathurst too.
We go back on board now with Russell Ingall.
Oh,
As he's
Bargwanna.
right on Bargwanna. So I was about to say earlier, it looks like Bargwanna's off the hook. But now now Russell Ingall has come back.
Russell's last lap time lead was 6/10 faster than Bargwanna, so I would say that the rears of Jason's cars are going away. Russell's looking pretty good because he had lost quite a bit of time with that running wide with Radicic right behind him. He's closed right up now. Look at that.
Well, they're coming around to greet the last lap board. Bargwanna, can he hang on and join his teammate Garth Tander in terms of taking an overall round win in season 1999? Bargwanna hasn't done that as we drift back. Lowndes has got through on Tander and tries for an inside run. Now Tander comes up, Faulkner comes up. You couldn't get them any closer.
That's like a railway shunting yard there, hooking up all the carriages one after the other. But Lowndes proving very effective. Bow defending hard. Half a lap remaining. Can Russell Ingall do it? Spoil Jason Bargwanna's party. He's heading for a clean sweep. If he can bring this one home. Ingall right up behind the Valvoline machine as they rocket out of this corner for the final time. Onto the fastest part of the track. Building up to 230 kilometres an hour on the approach to the S's. Bargwanna goes to the inside. Ingall all over the place looking for an opportunity. But Bargwanna's looking pretty solid right now.
From pole position, 3 race wins. Bargwanna has been brilliant at Winton. Takes the win. Russell Ingall in for second. Look how many cars, look how close they are. A terrific race. That was the race of the day. We began the day with just 136 points separating the top 5. We now have just 170 points separating the top 6. Garth Tander now comes up into the mix, and it is very, very close with just one sprint round remaining. Well done to Jason Bargwanna. He takes that 9th position from Tony Longhurst. Oran Park, 45 kilometres southwest of Sydney, a circuit better known for its grand final status. But today is something different. For the first time in 14 years, Oran Park isn't the grand final round. Thanks for joining us at Oran Park for the final sprint round as the cars, a capacity grid of 32, head off on the warm-up lap. An exciting day ahead. Scaife and Lowndes, the 2 Mobil 1 cars, share the front row. Stephen Ellery, will he be able to stay there? That's the $64 question. And Bright, McLean, Ingall, Tander and Longhurst, they're your top 4 rows. The revs rise.
That's a long time.
Away we go now. On the inside, Scaife gets away to a nice clean start. So too did Lowndes. Looked like Crompton got a good start in one of the 4 Tickford cars as well. They all start to form up for the first corner, taking the inside line as Ingall pulls in behind Stephen Ellery. And they make their way through that tricky kink.
Yeah, sorry, Mark. Oh, look at this light. That's a miraculous escape by everybody else.
Oh, there's one off there. I think it's one of the Wins Commodores. Yeah,
it's
Stephen Richards. Well,
oh boy,
they had a big meeting with Clark, of course, Tim Schenken yesterday. Talk about driving standards. It looks like they got through there relatively cleanly.
Cameron McLean's dropped back about 3-4 places there, so he must have had a little coming together maybe.
Already a challenge on Tony Longhurst as they come off the bridge, and there the challenge has ended up with that. Now somebody was making an inside move on Longhurst. Look at him. He is disgusted. Throwing his arms around inside the car, he is beached.
That guy is driving with a spine that's just been operated on a couple of days ago, and if you see the back of his spine, it's quite incredible. It's just done an amazing job.
Look at the marks on the front of Garth Tander's car.
I saw that, yes. I'd have to say there'd be a little inquiry after that one.
Well, a bit of a shock to the system. Stephen Ellery, the Queensland privateer, not running in a lot of bucks, but very impressive here in qualifying. He's up into 4th position behind the first of the AU Falcons. That's Jason Bright. Russell Ingall in 5th. Then it's Tander and McLean, the flying privateer, locks up the inside brake coming through that very difficult twist. Oh, Radicic.
Shoved the inside of DJ.
Safety cars out on the circuit because that is a very, very dangerous position. And Tony Longhurst has beached that car coming off that bridge there.
Safety car off the course. We are back under green, and Scaife has got a very big jump. There's the margin between he and Lowndes. Bright and Ellery. McLean has dropped back after a poor start, and the 2 Ford Tickford cars on screen. They are on a big move forward. Seaton, Crompton, Bargwana and Radicic, they are the foursome to watch.
Yeah, it's done Jason Bright a bit of a favour because Jason was starting to, well, he didn't stay with Scafie and Lounsey, and now it'd be interesting to see if he can. He lost that.
Oh, Bell's hit Murphy.
Look at the Shell Helix replay.
And yes, there you go. It's pretty graphic. There's definitely a yes on that one, wouldn't it?
Oh, just clear.
New lap record last time around to Craig Lowndes, a 1:08.06.31. So Lowndes is going very quickly at the moment. You're watching third, fourth, fifth, and further back. Jason Bright in a good position at the moment. Stephen Ellery hot on his heels.
Oh, this is all getting a bit. Oh, look at the squeeze in the middle of that. That's, well, Piggy in the middle and Dorman. That really wasn't his fault, was it?
Craig Harris and Paul Wheel involved in that incident as well.
Look at how hard Glenn Seaton's concentrating there as Paul Radicic moves right up into the mirrors. They just aren't getting the new tyre gain out of this car that they've had previously. They put a new set of tyres on. Normally you go a lot faster. It just hasn't been happening for the FTR Fords this weekend.
Let's not forget, this is their first time here and they don't have any previous data, so it's a big ask to get the cars right up there straight away, but they're doing well.
Well, Jason Bright matching the times of the Holden Racing Team Commodores. The gap, 1.3 seconds at the moment, remaining fairly static. Let's see if the Ford can close in a little bit. We're on board with our race leader, Mark Scape, the brand new VT Commodore, built by the boys in Melbourne. And Craig Lowndes reverting to the older VT this weekend as the enforcer defends. Dick Johnson talking about defending. Here comes his former teammate, John Bow, up the inside in the Caterpillar Falcon. So Bow had an absolutely terrible practice. He was all at sea yesterday. And they've got to be very careful with the tyres. They don't fry up the rear tyres. This place very, very hard. Look how hard Ingle's working. Tander applying maximum pressure. The enforcer being enforced.
Well, turn the clock back 12 months. Tander's got a great run out of there onto the main straight.
Yeah,
and pulls up alongside Russell Ingall and he will get him. So Garth Tander, it's a battle between the oil companies, Valvoline and Castrol. And up the inside goes Garth Tander.
Well, Jason Bright's continuing to do it. He's taken another 2/10 out of the lead. It's down to 1 second now. There it is, the Pertec Ford, 5 laps remaining. He's going to have to do something amazing here if he's going to get in front of these guys, but he's certainly closing the gap. Let's check it, 0.9 now. He's taken another 10th out of him. Side by side, Rodney Forbes, the Sydney privateer, trying a big run down the inside of the Mitre 10 Falcon.
Well, Larry Perkins has made the move on Mark Larkham. Now you can see his left-hand headline there has got some damage, so it's been knocked out. Forbes has got the inside run there.
Oh, you can see that one coming, couldn't you?
Yeah, you'd have to say that was pretty predictable, wouldn't it?
Well, this is it for Mark Scape. He hasn't won a race here at Oran Park since 1992, but he will take out race 1 of 3 today from teammate Craig Lowndes in a Mobil 1 Holden Racing Team 1-2. And of course, these are their finishing positions from the first race, the order in which they start, Scape and Lowndes, that hasn't changed. And of course, where they started in the first race on your right-hand side. Ellery from 4, Russell Ingall from 6, and Crompton from 8. He moved forward from 12. And this is 2 of 3. Can the Mobil 1 Holden Racing Team be beaten here in Sydney today?
A long time.
Again, away we go, and it's Lowndes.
Oh, a bad start for Ellery.
So it's Scape on the inside. Bright is through up into second. Lowndes bogged down off the start. Look at the Valvoline car of Tander. He slipped up on the inside of Stephen Ellery. McLean is in there as well. And the 2 AUXR8s of the Ford Tickford team.
Radicic, that's Radicic. Oh, no, it's Radicic, Ingall, and
Seaton.
Oh, boy.
Well.
Yeah, we
saw him got caught up in the early part of that tangle. We thought he might have been able to straighten it out, but the car just kept coming around and around.
Yeah, that was, I don't know, it looked a bit like Paul Radicic. I don't know, we'll have to get another look at it and see what happened there.
One thing's for sure, Russell Ingall was tangled up in that, and as the field flies through, you can see how many positions Ingall has lost. He is way back after that.
Boy.
Faulkner's been the big winner in that incident as well.
Jason Bright third in Heat 1. Look at him, he's split the Mobil Holden Racing Team Commodores. That's a big boost for the Ford fans. Garth Tander, a great start, got in front of Stephen Ellery. Look at it now, look,
you see Radicic on the inside there.
Cito on the outside.
Yes, I can't really tell from that angle, but I don't know.
Just couldn't bring it around.
We are back under green, and Lowndes has got a great restart on Jason Bright. Look how close
is this? He's got him.
Down into turn one, Lowndes should have the run. He's got the inside for Bright, and Lowndes has moved up. Great move, Craig Lowndes.
That was a bit of hard driving from Lowndesy there because Brighty was right on the grass.
Now, Crompton would have only just found out that he's been black flagged, so we'll expect him to come in next time round.
Yeah, Scaife really got on the restart, didn't he? He opened up 3 or 4 car lengths, full throttle as they came across the line. Jason Bright just not as quick out of the corner onto the main straight, led Craig Lowndes to move up position, so it's back to the 1-2 mobile car domination we saw in Heat 1. Bright back to 3rd position, and the Valvoline Commodore of Garth Tander doing an outstanding job today.
Yeah, look at that, the way that Cameron McLean's car's handling. I mean, it looks really nicely balanced.
Line of 10 lap counters, 7 of 20. Whoa, the change of direction. He is hammering this car.
It looks good, though. It looks good.
3 wheels in the air. Maximum grip as
Oh, look at that.
That's Bargwanna.
Yeah, Barg's up the inside.
Inside of Larkham for 14th. So he's making his way through. Considering he started back of grid, Bargwanna was way back in, something like 28th off the grid for this race. Here's the battle. Look at the front end of the Valvoline Cummins Commodore.
Well, as we've seen before, little Russell Ingall have similar damage up at Hidden Valley, and he absolutely cooked his engine. So hopefully the temperatures won't be rising too high underneath the bonnet of the Valvoline machine, otherwise he's going to have a very expensive engine damage in that car.
12th position now for Jason Bargwanna. That right front headlight looking pretty loose underneath there. Let's hope it can hang in there for race distance.
Hope he can get through. Look at the damage on Paul Radisic's cars. He got squeezed. Oh,
gives
that
Ellery something to think about.
Right up behind Stephen Ellery now, feeling the heat of the Shell 18 Ford.
This is interesting because these guys will be teammates at the next round, and Ellery gives him racing room on the inside.
That was a good move from Radicic.
The Rat slips up the inside, so Radicic 1 position higher. He now sits in 5th.
Bryce just not giving him a chance. Former Australian Drivers' Champion. Had a wonderful transition to V8 Supercars. He's just continued to go from strength to strength. The only man so far this year to have qualified in the top 5 at every round. Consistency has been the key word for both Jason Bright and the Stone Brothers operation. 2 laps remaining. Looks like Bargwanna's car. Well, if that engine is getting hot, it'll be really hot by the time he pulls into pit lane. But he seems to be absolutely powering. It's not affecting the speed of the car. Up to 9th position. He's climbed into the top 10.
From 28th. That is an outstanding effort. And look at this battle going on between Larry Perkins and Dick Johnson. This is for the minor placings. This is back in 11th and 12th.
Yes. That's it.
Dick defended throughout that race. But Larry, right at the last minute, maybe Johnson's tyres might be going off a little bit toward the end of the race. They did say it was going to be problems with tyres here. Meanwhile, here's our race leader, Mark Scaife, Craig Lowndes, Jason Bright. Closed up just under a second. And I'm pretty sure that's the Mobile boys controlling the speed from the front. They're very conscious of the fact they've got to hold the rubber together on these tyres. They've got another race to come. So winning by the smallest possible margin isn't going to matter as long as they win.
And Scaife will make it 10 from the last 11. Scaife does it. 2 from 2 for the Mobile 1 boys. Lowndes follows him home for 2nd. Bright and Tander. This is it, the last championship sprint race of the year, and they will start in this order. Mark Scaife going for his first clean sweep. Lowndes, Bright, Tander, Radicic, and Ellery watch Radicic in 5. McLean and Bow. That was a good battle in the previous race. Get ready to go. The final sprint race of the year. Will Scaife make it 3? Away we go. Lowndes did get away to a good start, but Scaife has got the momentum on the inside. So too did Jason Bright, and look at Radicic. Radicic on the inside of Garth Tander. He's there. Bow tries to tug across. Larry Perkins got away to a brilliant start too.
Brighty, good start from him.
Bright up the inside, trying to split the Mobile team once again. Stephen Ellery right up on the curves.
Oh dear.
Jason Bargwanna.
Boggs and JB. Oh, JB manages to get back again.
Bargwanna's gone for the race, that's it, unless he can turn it around out of there and get across, but he opens the door.
He's had a rotten day, fought his way up from 28th to 9th, start of this 3rd heat, finds himself out in the shrubs. So it has not been a good day, but Garth Tander having a great day in the sister car.
Ellery did come through quite forcefully on the inside as they swoop under the bridge on the opening lap of 17. Let's hope we get a clean run in this one. It is 1 and 2, the Mobile Holden Racing Team, as it's been all day. They have won here for the past 3 years in a row. Brock in 96, Murphy in 97, and Lowndes last year. It looks pretty much like it's going to be Scaife today. Keep your eye on Russell Ingall. He's well placed in 8th. He's right behind Stephen Ellery and Cameron McLean. And on the way forward, the Enforcer needs the championship points. And that little skirmish in the previous race didn't help him. We join him on board now, tearing down into the kink. As a quick look behind, he's got Stephen Richards in the Wins Racing Kmart Commodore right up. As we look at Stephen Ellery ahead, the 2 EL Falcons, the 2 guys who qualified so well. And Ellery taking a very defensive line, trying to keep Ingall at bay. Craig Lowndes trying to get through on the inside of his teammate Mark Scaife. Now, for all the wins that Mark has had this season, he hasn't got a clean sweep yet. So today here at Oran Park, it looks good. So these guys doing it comfy. Wow,
look at
Peter
that.
Dillman.
Wow.
The Gatorade Commodore has climbed the tyre wall.
And he's just, you can see him moving around in the cockpit there.
That's what you call getting unloaded. Calling for
That is a mate. Oh, what's Larry?
medical assistance, so I hope Peter Dillman's okay.
Oh, it's got
And that's Dick Johnson.
DJ.
Well, what a rotten way for this champion to finish his sprint racing career. Big damage to the Shell number 17 Ford.
Talk about a tough race 3. It's happening everywhere. People are getting clobbered left, right, and centre. So they are going off by the second.
Look at that. That's a wallop up the backside, one in the front. It's
Safety car.
As you would imagine, goes out.
Third time today.
Look at that.
Now, Dillman got his helmet off. Let's hope he's okay inside the Gatorade Commodore.
We are about to go back under green. There will be 10 laps of racing in this third and final race. The safety car is off. We see green. Away we go.
Yeah, I can't understand. Well, look at the gap that Jason. I think Jason should. I don't know whether he knew the safety car was coming back in them, but he seemed to be a long, long way back behind the HRT guys.
Down under the bridge for the first time. Russell Ingall up behind Stephen Ellery in the Falcon. Look at Jason Bright. This is the closest he's ever been.
Yet he was so far back in the straight.
Another incredible run by Cam McLean in the Greenfield Mowers Ford. Let's hope he can remain up there. As Bright, we watch with much interest if he can apply some pressure to Craig Lowndes. We did see him pass Craig Lowndes in the previous race, only to see Lowndes get back on him at the restart. And Ellery will be under plenty of pressure, you can be guaranteed that, from Russell Ingall and Stephen Richards. Larry Perkins, Rodney Forbes, Mark Larkham and Darren Pate. Look at Larkham on Perkins.
Oh dear.
That's going sideways as Larry comes in. A beautiful slide.
Save of the day, Larry.
Puts his hand up and says, Larko, what's going on?
I think we should stick him in a 700 horsepower sprint car and put him on the clay oval.
What a beautiful slide.
That was brilliant, wasn't it? What a save, Larry.
Yeah, that was a great bit of driving out the marbles. Darren Pate.
Mick Donohue's there as well.
Mick Donohue having a great run.
Oh, look at this. Lounsey.
Yeah, you can't help thinking there's some team orders going on here.
Well, the
Mobile team.
If you look at it, Mark, you know, you can imagine Jeff Gregg said, look, listen, guys. Oh, this is another replay here. Look at that. Now, look at... Oh, look, Larry, what a... That was great. That was hot stuff.
Take the wings off him, I say.
Yes, Jeff Gregg has told the guys, listen, whatever happened, don't take each other off. You know, there's no sort of team orders, but you can imagine if Craig shot up the inside and T-boned Mark and they both went off, how silly would it be?
Yeah, exactly.
Lowndes is there hanging in with Scaife.
Every lap into that, the back end of Mark's thing locks up.
Still running in the 1 minute 8 second bracket.
Look at Scaife. Sorry, mate. You see through the windscreen, Scaife, you're really fighting.
They are pushing so hard. They've been doing it all day, running in that time bracket, so they're not mucking around, just showing their technical superiority here. They're so dominant at Oran Park over the years. They're continuing in 1999. No one can touch them around this place.
One thing that we haven't made too much of a mention on, which I guess we should, is Scaife is in a brand new VT Commodore. Lowndes is running Scaife's old car.
But that's why I say but they bring out a new car, HRT, and every new car they bring out is at least as good as the other one, if not better.
Well, putting it on pole in a new qualifying record, that's pretty handy, isn't it? And he's going to take it to a clean sweep, so he will repeat what Jason Bargwanna did at Winton. Bright is closing the gap, and so too is Tanders hanging in there.
But you see, you know, they pull out that gap at the beginning and then Bright is pushing on hard. You know, the gap isn't much more now than it was after 2 laps.
Well, Russell Scaife, Mark's father, is here watching, and he will be very proud of his son as Scaife cleans them up in a clean sweep at Oran Park. 3 from 3 for Mark Scaife. Craig Lowndes will come in for 3 second places, and a very solid day. There's the team, the Mobil 1 boys. Their work has paid off, their hard work. The Mobil 1 Holden Racing team couldn't be in a stronger position at the moment in terms of points. 22 points the margin, and they stand tall at the top of the ladder. Russell Ingall was hurt in terms of the points today. Wasn't the best round for him, but he remains in 3rd. Bright, the major change is Tander up into the top 5. Bowes still remains there behind Seaton. Murphy, Bargwanna and Longhurst, those positions remain the same. Well, a crowd in excess of 31,000 saw a very good final sprint round here at Oran Park. Mark Scaife now, that's his 6th round win, Barry, and he's only 1 away from the all-time record of Jim Richards and Alan Moffat, 7 in a season. They look good for the Enduros.
Incredible. But the thing about the Enduros is, at one time, you know, you say, oh, well, you know, there's only 2 or 3 teams, you know, that you really got to look at. Now, realistically, there's only 10 or 12 or 13 teams that could win. And don't forget, we're on the same tyres. So I think it's going to be fantastic. You know, the Queensland 500 and also Bathurst, it's got to be the best season ever, in my opinion.
After Ellery and Radisic's run today, they look good.
Well, there you go. I mean, it's, you know, you can't pick a winner out of it. I don't care how clever you are. Even you couldn't, Lee. Even my wife couldn't.
See you in Queensland, huh?
All Radisic is suffering the same fate. Oh, he just damaged the tyres too.